On Drop Rate is a series where I can only receive an item within its wiki stated rate, but with a twist. If I receive the item before or on its rate, I get to keep everything earned during the episode, including the desired item. However, if I do not end up getting it, I have to forfeit all the loot earned to you guys, the viewers. Let's introduce today's challenge. The item of this episode is the Dragon Hunter Wand at a drop rate of 1 in 207 from the Hueycoatl, and every single kill will be done solo, as tracking drop rates accurately can get trickier in varying group sizes. The Dragon Hunter Wand is a fairly recent release and has a value of 24 million GP. However, don't let the value deceive you, as the weapon is most likely one of the most useless items in the entire game. Being a tier 65 weapon and sporting a 50% accuracy boost and a 20% damage amplifier when fighting dragons, it is currently on par with the Dragon Hunter Lance on Metal Dragons, but only when casting the highest tier of spell, meaning you need Wrath runes. This results in the wand pretty much just being a Dragon Hunter Lance that costs money to use for main accounts, and for Iron Men it's even worse, as you need 95 rune crafting to even make it usable, as that is when you can craft your own Wrath runes. On any other content, the Trident will outshine this weapon, which only costs 27,000 GP compared to the 24 million GP of the wand. The Hueycoatl is weak to crush, so this is going to be our gear setup and inventory, and it's worth a staggering 2 billion GP, but of course most of that comes from the Scythe of Vitor, so if you don't have that, there are other options. Besides that though, Inquisitor set is extremely good here, along with the highest melee strength you can get. If you want to fight this boss solo, you have to go to this flag right here, and you can see it says fight privately. Click on this one and you will get the option to start a solo fight, and this will put you into a session where you're the only one able to fight the boss, but it doesn't put you into the fight directly, it only puts you in the lobby, so it's fine to click it anytime you want. Oh, I can't enter. I have never done this before, so apparently I need to talk to Tala first. But now that we can enter, let's quickly go over how this fight works. Start off by using the Dragon Hunter Lance to defeat the 5 parts of Huey's tail. Avoid blue circles and pray against the colored projectiles. Those 2 abilities, by the way, will continue over the entire fight. When all tails are defeated, head over to the main boss and use the Scythe on him. When Huey reaches 1250 hit points or 50%, hit the tail that spawns with the Blood Moon set and its weapon. There's a whole complicated reason to why you need to use these here, but just know they are best. During this part and for the rest of the fight, the tail will also slam and create shockwaves, which should be dodged. When the tail is defeated, simply finish off the last 1250 hit points of the boss, and congratulations, you've defeated Huey. And let's see what the first drop of this fight is and how long it was. 8 minutes 35 seconds, which is very long, pretty much like the Nightmare. Also, we get 3000 Earth Runes, so that is definitely not ideal, but I can now see that the monster monitor tracker is not working here, probably because it's such a new boss and it's not been updated yet correctly, but I guess we're going to have to go back to the old tracker for this video, but I will contact the guy making this plugin and see if we can get it fixed. By the way, this is how the collection log looks. There are 6 items here, and honestly, we might be able to finish the entire log in this video, because we are doing up to 207 kills, and the pet is only 1 in 400, being the most rare item on this log. The only damage I really take on this fight is from these waves, and yeah, you can see again, 22 damage, and if I can manage to learn how to avoid these every single time, I will pretty much not need food here, just a small amount that I take from chip damage, but that is honestly very minimal chip damage. 30 adamant plate bodies. It's kind of funny because I have so many of these items kind of just hidden because they're not usually worth really picking up, but if you get 30 of them at the same time and they're all noted, I'm picking those up. Oh, and by the way, a great spell on this fight is the Death Charge spell, so if you're doing this, definitely bring it, because when you're killing these parts of the tail, it allows you to gain 15% special attack charge back when you kill one of these parts. It does have a bit of a cooldown, but you can use it twice when killing all of these parts of the tail if you're doing a solo, so 30% extra charge back every time. I actually saw a video with like 15 views that recommended these specific tiles for avoiding the wave, and you're supposed to stand in the middle tile, so let's go over there and click on the front tile when the wave hits it. Oh, it works! Look at that! 15 viewed video, thank you so much. Alright, you can get sun-kissed bones, 100 of them. It says 800,000 GP in the chat. That is definitely fake news. This is pretty much prayer experience. You cannot trade these or anything, so the value is just totally fake. But it's a nice prayer experience we can go for at the end of the grind. But by the way, look at the food. When I started dodging the waves, I told you I barely use food. Such an easy 2-kill trip for some raw sharks as well. 6 KC down, and we are speeding up the kills a bit from the first one, like 50 seconds faster. But look at that. 5 anglers left. Still, after 2 kills back to back. Now, I did some quick calculations, and if we're getting around 8-minute kills every single time, which I think is honestly on the lower end, because I also might have to do clue scrolls and I have to rebank and all these type of stuff, which does take up time as well. But if we do not count that in, every kill is 8 minutes, then this grind for 207 kills is going to be 27.5 hours long. I don't know if this is a combat achievement, but I always assume that kill count milestones are. Yes, it is. Okay, Hueycoatl, Adept, 10 kill count, actually for the best drops so far as well. 20 Raynor seeds. Dude, this boss for Iron Man seems insane. Alkeballs and so many seeds. 7:31, new personal best. I don't know how fast we can actually go on this boss fight. Obviously, we are only in the early KC of 18. But when I spoke to my friends, it seems like they all said the fight is around 8 minutes. So I think we're doing pretty good. You know, I have killed a lot of Fosani's Nightmare and the Nightmare in my life, and I feel like this fight is literally just the same fight, except it's way easier, and look at that. It feels like the regular drops are way better even than the Nightmare. Obviously, the main difference is that the Nightmare has these really big, expensive, big-ticket items, meanwhile Huey's most expensive item is the Dragon Hunter wand at 24 million. But if you want something more consistent that is way less intense, then this fight is probably for you over the Nightmare. I believe we're coming up on the last milestone when it comes to combat achievements. For 25, the Hueycoatl Veteran, which is most likely the last combat achievement we will get on this grind. Okay, 400 Cosmic Runes, maybe not the drop Huey to give me right now after I just said the regular drops are better than the Nightmare. Of course, the first collection log slot of this entire grind is the Soiled Pages. These are used to charge the Tome of Earth that you can also get here, and these are 1 in 13.6. So we were actually over double the drop rate for that, for the first log item. So hopefully that is not indicative for the rest of the grind. Oh my god! What just happened on that kill? We got a 30-second improvement on my personal best. A 7:01. We almost broke the 6-minute barrier. I guess there is still ways to speed this up. Oh, almost exactly on rate actually. The Huasca seeds. These are really valuable apparently. 915k for this drop. These are 1 in 34 and they're used to make the new prayer regeneration potions, which we have been using a lot recently. And I guess that's why they're so expensive, because the pots are insane. As has been the case for pretty much every single new boss recently put into Runescape, there is a scoreboard where you can see the fastest kills and all that, and you can see the fastest global kill is 29 seconds. Of course, this is in masses. And I've actually died 0 times so far, so you can see that it's not a very difficult fight, and global deaths is even 31.9k out of 1.9 million kills, so really not too difficult of a boss. Oh, I was expecting to get this pretty soon. It's the first hard clue scroll on KC number 52 and some Raynor seeds as well, which is a very good drop. But hard clues is 1 in 50 here, but because I have the hard combat achievements completed, it's 1 in 47. For most of my grinds in this game, I'm used to using the Light Bearer because double special attack regen is so insane, but I actually didn't even realize I had enough money even to buy an Alto ring. This is incredibly good. Over the Berserker ring, it's actually a +4 strength bonus. And again, because I mostly used the Light Bearer, I wasn't aware the difference between the two rings was this huge. Okay, not an immediate personal best, but that's just not how this fight works. Over time though, I'm really hoping this ring can help me break that 7-minute barrier and go into the 6 minutes, and I don't think it should take too long. Okay, hear me out. I had the craziest idea. On the first part here where you use the Dragon Hunter lance, it's weak to crush. And so I thought maybe I can use the Darok set because you barely take any damage here. And I feel like low HP Daroks should be possibly better DPS than the Dragon Hunter lance. I don't really know what I'm talking about here, but I just thought hitting big numbers sounded fun, to be honest. Oh my god, 98? That's like half its HP in one hit, oh my god. Oh my god, 101 hit and not even a max hit into a 78. Okay, this is so fun to use. You know, I even used Darox mostly on Hueycoatl himself as well, and 98 to end off the fight, a 744. Primarily pretty much only using the Darox set and of course the Blood Moon set for the tail, but that is really good. Obviously, it's a big risk staying low HP the entire fight, but if you can't afford the Scythe of Vitter, I guess it's a pretty cheap and good alternative. I've been in close contact with the guy making the Monster Monitor plugin, and he has now fixed Huey, and on top of that, he has made it resizable, one of my requests I loved to see, and look at this. You can make it so large and you can just put it anywhere really, so this is going to help with making things more clear as well. And on top of that, I can also edit the kill count as I go, so I can just put 87 to begin with, as that is the KC we're at. And if anything messes up during the grind, if we get some errors, I can just instantly readjust it. Alright, let's see if it actually works. 87 to 88. Yes, it does work. Perfect. Yo, let's go. We got the Tome of Earth empty. That is 1 in 92, so definitely one of the more rare collection log slots you can get. Oh, and I see the load tracker apparently counted that as 2 kill counts, but luckily I can edit it and it will be fine. But we've been here now for roughly 13 hours, and we are coming up on the first bigger milestone of the grind, 100 KC. And strangely enough, we have not seen the Hueycoatl hide at all yet, which is pretty much 3 times as common as the Tome of Earth. And it's actually the most valuable drop you can get here, except for the wand, so it actually kind of sucks to be unlucky on that item. Yo! What? 1.23 million for the Huasca seed drop. These seeds have been absolutely skyrocketing in price. I mean, I'm not complaining, I'll take the money. There it is, we finally got him. The 3 Hueycoatl hides, 5.97 million GP in one drop. I think you always get 3 when you solo. If you do it in teams, you can get like 1 each or something like that. Definitely a stellar drop to get. And this is pretty much how a log should look for 113 KC. We have everything except for the wand and the pets. Oh, I must have missed it, but you can see in my chat, I have broken the 7-minute barrier at some point. I'm not exactly sure when that happened, but thanks to the Altar Ring, I would assume we now have a 6-minute and 57-second personal best. Oh, so easy! 136 kill count. There it is, Dragon Hunter wand, 25.5 million GP. Another challenge completed. And with the challenge done, this is all the loot that we got. So I actually made a good amount of money here. Obviously, half of that pretty much is from the wand, but even without the wand, the money is not terrible. And again, this is the collection log, we're only missing the pet, so maybe in the future we can go and finish that off. And just to show you guys how easy this boss really is, I've done 135 kill counts, I died 0 times. And of course, we did end up getting 2 hard clue scrolls as well, so let's just go ahead and open these. We do get to keep the loot here, and the second one is actually insanely good, 504k. And that is everything sold, so let's collect this and see how much we made after the GE taxes. We made 53 million GP, more, yeah, pretty much exactly. But then we also have all the sun-kissed bones we're going to turn into prayer experience. We're on the last few shards here. I ended up getting like 27,000 overall shards, and that is 93 prayer. We actually ended up getting a prayer level from this. And I will have to go and recharge my prayer to be able to continue on the last 500 here, but yeah, we pretty much made 160,000 prayer experience from 136 Hueycoatl. So a bit more than 1,000 prayer experience per kill. This is the Amulet of Rancor, the best melee amulet in the entire game, worth 92 million GP, sporting a plus 12 strength bonus, 25 accuracy bonuses to all styles, and plus 2 prayer bonus. It is created by combining an Amulet of Torture with an Araxxor Fang in probably the coolest animation in all of Runescape. And the Fang is dropped by the Slayer boss Araxxor at a drop rate of 1 in 600. And that is the exact item we're hunting in this video. So let's defeat up to 600 Araxxor or obtain ourselves the strongest amulet in old school RuneScape. Now, because of my recent completion of the Inferno and the Colosseum, we can now finally use the absolute best in-slot gear for all grinds in the game. So this is the gear we're using for this grind, which is the best in-slot gear for Araxxor, worth a grand total of 2.3 billion GP. Because Araxxor is a Slayer boss, you do need a Slayer assignment to be able to kill it, but I have actually not even done one Slayer task since Araxxor was released, and I still have a task of 207 of them. Also, I won't be bothering with Bracelets of Slaughter in this grind because honestly I think I will need 3 Slayer tasks anyways if I go all the way to 600. And of course, once again, we are using the Monster Monitor plugin. We have 600 Araxxor on the board, but as it's a work in progress plugin, it might not work, but hopefully it does. As I alluded to in the beginning, I have done Araxxor before. We did 100 on the release date of the boss, and we got 2 Araxxite Fangs, which is incredibly lucky. To begin, let's briefly go over the main mechanics of Araxxor. During the fight, you will encounter 3 minion spiders. The acidic spider attacks you with ranged attacks, and when killed shoots out a bunch of venom splats you need to avoid. The Ruptura spider explodes when in close proximity to the player, dealing a large amount of damage. In this clip, I actually killed the spider, but you can let it explode under the boss to deal a large amount of damage to Araxxor. And finally, the mirrorback spider reflects a portion of damage done to the boss back to you. This one needs to be killed as soon as possible as to not take a bunch of reflective damage. And finally, when the boss reaches 25% HP, you need to move 2 tiles between each attack the boss does to avoid a melee hit and poison splats at your position. You know what? First kill, not too bad. Went pretty smoothly, and the tracker does work. Very nice. 1 out of 600, and let's see what the first loot is. You have to harvest it from the corpse. 2 rune plate legs. Not too bad. This is how it looks, by the way, when you just let the Ruptura Araxxite explode, so when it gets close, you just run away instantly so you don't take too much damage, and the boss takes 80 damage. So if you do it consistently, it really speeds up the boss fight. Having literal best in slot here is so nice. The kills are so extremely quick. Look at that, 127. Only 8 seconds of my personal best within the first 4 kill counts. So it won't take long before we definitely get a personal best, and on top of that, I think we can get quite a lot of a faster personal best. If every kill on average is 1.5 minutes, I should be hitting roughly 40 kills an hour as banking and resupplying is very quick. And with the boss giving 1700 Slayer experience and the minions 55 each, and I roughly kill 4 of them. With this gear, Araxxor is actually around 65 to 70,000 Slayer experience an hour, which is very high. This might actually be it. I think we broke the 115 barrier. Yeah, by quite a lot, 111, and that's going to give us a unique item actually. There we go, the Coagulated Venom. This is always guaranteed when you kill the boss faster than 115, and it's the transmog for the pet, which of course we don't have, so we can't do anything with this yet. You know, 18 kills deep after this one now, and I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of this now. I'm farming so fast kills. Let's see how fast this was. 110. Oh, it's a personal best even. 110. Yeah, the kills are so quick now. Now, the regular drops from this boss is not amazing, but they're not terrible either. So I've done a trip of 5 kills now, so let's see how much money we made. So in 5 kills, we made 270k, so that's roughly 55k per kill. Wait, how did I get a combat achievement for speedrunner or not even a personal best? Let's have a look. Okay. Kill Araxxor 6 times in 10 minutes. Oh, so it's multiple kills within 10 minutes? Is there any other boss that does that? That's kind of interesting. Hey, first elite clue scroller. These are actually kind of common here. It's a pretty good way of getting elites if you can get the tasks at least. 1 in 50, and we got it pretty early as well, 37 KC. So we should see roughly 12 elites if we go on raids. If you're one of those people who also want to stack up a bunch of clue scroll chests and you don't want to accidentally open them, use menu entry swapper and swap the left click option to just use. That way you cannot accidentally click them. This U-seed is actually either very rare or very common. There's actually 2 seed tables for Araxxor, one with very rare drop rates of all the seeds and one with a lot more common drop rates. So this U-seed could either be 1 in 28 or 1 in 1600, so hopefully it's the common one. Arachnid Lover, another combat achievement, master combat achievement. I have no idea what this is, let's have a look. Kill Araxxor 10 times without leaving. That's crazy, we're already up to 10 kill trips. I started doing like 3 kill trips. We got the 2 dragon plate legs. Believe it or not, that is the most valuable common drop you can get. Oh, and by the way, we also got another U-seed. Oh my god, back-to-back dragon plate legs? Look at that. This is a profitable trip. Probably the best one so far. 825k for 1 trip. That is actually really good for no uniques. All the kills that I've done so far is supposed to be the harder way of doing Araxxor, and there's actually a combat achievement for killing 6 of the eggs, which you actually, as you can see now, can kill before the fight starts. And it's supposed to be the easy way of doing the boss, because then you don't have to deal with the minions, but as you can see, they can still crack, and that one did not count for the 6 towards the combat achievement. I mean, there might be a way to always one-shot the eggs, which would make it easier, but this felt so slow. Let's see the time, and way more difficult, by the way. That was a 2:43. We got Relaxor. That was way less relaxing than if I just kill the boss, but combat achievement completed, and for the loot we get 2 Runekite shields. Actually, pretty big milestone, 100 KC done, and last time I was here, I had 2 fangs, but not this time. This is all the loot that we've got, 5.4 million GP in loot, which is 54k per kill on average, which is quite a lot above the average. The average is supposed to be roughly 40,000, so we're actually getting some good drops. Oh yeah, something that completely slipped my mind is to mention that you can actually destroy the corpse. We are not going to be doing that in this video. You essentially sacrifice the potential loot you could get to double your chance of seeing the pet. So you either harvest to get your loot with a 1 in 3,000 chance of seeing the pet, or you destroy the corpse, get no loot, and you have a 1.5k of seeing the pets. Oh, I'm not sure if that is embarrassing or not. Perfect Araxxor took me 112 KC on a personal best as well. I guess I killed it so fast I could not accidentally mess up anything. Oh, we have the Araxxite head. That's kind of rare. It's 1 in 250. That is, I guess, kind of a cool item to get. It's the Slayer Helmet's Cosmetic Override. If we do not get a halberd piece here, we are officially unlucky on those, and we do not get it. So 200 KC is the drop rate of seeing a halberd piece. We have not seen that, and we have not seen the Araxxite Fang. We have seen the Araxxite head though, but that is the only unique so far. You know, I am kind of nervous because this is the final kill of the Slayer task that I already had of Araxxor, and we have not won the challenge yet. So if I don't get the Fang here, we have to get another task, and look at that, I have 23 Slayer points. So let's harvest and see what the verdict is. Yeah, we do have to get another task, so we have 1 chance basically of getting the task. Otherwise, I have to just do some normal Slayer and stack up points. Also, from that 1 task, we got 209,000 Slayer experience. Possibly one of the most important back-to-back chances. The 10% chance the Slayer Cape gives me a back-to-back Araxxor task. Okay. If I was going to get a task that's not Araxxites, that's probably the best one, because you just have a free skip. So we have another chance. I have mentioned this before, but all you have to do is basically just enter the cave, leave instantly, and your Slayer task is going to be reset. So you can basically for free skip a task. Alright, last chance. Let's see what we get. Oh, unlucky. I guess we'll have to stack up some Slayer points. Took a bit of a detour and did some Wilderness Slayer, and we're now at 1,628 Slayer points, so hopefully that is going to be enough. Yo, there we go, 216 Araxxites, a pretty decent task, and it didn't take that long actually. Yeah, we only used like 430 points, I believe. And I did spend 100 points blocking Abyssal Demons because they're so common. Oh no, don't do this to me. I know Rune Square Shield is going to be very depressingly rare. Drop rate will be on the screen, I just don't even want to know myself. We are not going to be talking about that. No comments in the comment section are going to be talking about this. No. My premonition in the beginning of the video of me predicting that I might be very unlucky now that I've already got 2 fangs in the first 100 KC might come true, because we're now halfway done with the grind and we have not seen pretty much anything of value yet. But halfway is only halfway, there is still a lot of kills left to do. Oh, yo, isn't that ironic? After the last clip, I think I literally said that we might get unlucky on this grind. Well, I guess we are not. 316 KC for another Araxxite Fang. Another on drop rate challenge completed. Actually, ridiculous collection at this point. 3 fangs in 416 KC. You should have 3 fangs at 1,800 KC. Now, to be able to make the Amulet of Rancor, you do need to sacrifice an Amulet of Torture, which is worth 24 million almost. But if we actually price check the Rancor itself, it is a 94 million, so you still make 70 million GP doing this. But let's go ahead and see that beautiful animation, the 3rd Amulet of Rancor made on this account. I actually sold a bit under the GE value, but hey, I'm not going to complain about getting 90 million GP. And you know what? Before we open the 7 elites we got, I do actually want to unlock the new look on my Slayer helmet from that Araxxor head we got. Because I grinded over 1,000 Slayer points, we do have enough to actually make this. So I even crafted a new Slayer helmet as well. So we have that now, and I think if we combine these together, I can now make, yeah, look at that, the Araxxor Slayer helmet, which I now have to imbue as well, but that looks incredible. The second cosmetic Slayer helm I've ever had. The Hydra one I've had for so long, and it's nice to have a different one. But as I mentioned, it's time for the 7 elites. And we already have a master. Master completed, but getting masters from elites is 1 in 5, so we should see one more here, and it is very likely that I open this one and we get interrupted again. Never mind, we get a bucket helmet. How much is that? 236k. Yes, most of that is from the purple suites, but let's go ahead and open the last 4. Nothing. 96k, 96, 219... and 308k. No more masters. But let's go ahead and open the one master we got, and we get absolutely nothing. 199k. In today's episode, we are taking on Eldrick the Ice Giant and Branda the Fire Queen, also known as the Royal Titans. And because it's another 10th episode, we are here for the pet. The drop rate of the pet can either be 1 in 3,000 or 1 in 1,500. However, achieving the 1 in 1.5k requires you to sacrifice your loot for a better chance of obtaining the pet. As this is on drop rate where we risk loot on lost challenges, we are not going to be using this feature, meaning we are defeating the Royal Titans up to 3,000 times. The Titans are most efficiently defeated as a duo, allowing you to deal with 1 Titan each, making it a lot faster. And on completion of the boss, you still have the same drop chance for the pet. However, finding people to consistently run up to 3,000 kills with is going to be an issue. So most likely, most of the kills in this video is going to be done solo, but if there are duos available, I will give them a go. The gear we're going to be using for this grind is definitely a bit overkill, but because we could be spending over 100 hours here, I am bringing any gear upgrade that could shave off time and make this as quick as possible. So this is what the collection log looks like for the Royal Titans. There are 7 overall items, with the pet being of course the most rare item, and the second most rare items are only 1 in 75. So hopefully during this video, if we do end up getting the pet, we should also be green logging this boss. But let's begin by going over the basics of the Royal Titans encounter. First off, keep protect from melee on at all times during the fight. During the encounter, both of the Titans will rotate between being close to you and walking away. When they're close to you, use melee, and when they're further away, swap to ranged. Over the course of the encounter, the bosses will spawn ice and fire lines blocking off your path. These can be removed by using the opposite elemental spell, which is why I'm using the Twin Flame Staff that adapts an attack with whatever spell is needed. You can also use these lines to instantly kill minions that spawn during the fight. For example, if a fire minion is placed on an ice line, as it activates, they will die instantly. If the minions are not dealt with, they will eventually explode on you for minor damage. When at least one of the Titans reach around 30% HP, the final phase will begin. During this phase, they will spawn minion more often, but along with that, there is only one mechanic you will have to deal with, the Elemental Blast. A small rotating circle will appear somewhere on the arena with a timer over it. Stand in the circle before the timer runs out and wait out 3 blasts. If you do not make it and you stand outside of it, you'll take roughly 30 damage per hit. And that's it. Congratulations, you can now kill the Royal Titans. Nice to see that the loot tracker actually works, but let's just go ahead and see what the first loot of the grind is going to be. Okay, some Chaos Runes and Death Runes, nothing crazy. On the drop table of the Royal Titans, there is a necklace that lets you teleport right to them, but until then I have to use the Crafting Guild teleport and do quite a run. So if we look here, you have to go all the way into this dungeon here, run through a bit here to the ice area, and there we go. But you can see the Giant Soul Amulet is what we're looking for to instantly teleport to the boss. Oh no! It's stuck on the other side. I guess I'll just have to tank. I don't have time to destroy the wall there. That's why you need to preemptively destroy this wall, so you don't get stuck on the other side and have to tank a lot of damage. I improved so much on this second kill. This should be vastly faster. Let's have a look at the time. 1 minute faster than the last kill. Okay, so 2 minute kills is actually not that bad. And for the second loot, some money and some runes again. Oh wow, 2 rune scimitars and 8 grimy dwarf weeds. That's like 50k loot from this boss. That's actually really good. The loot is better than I expected. I don't know if there's really any reason to do this, but I added a loot tracker for both of the bosses. It's going to say 4 if I've killed 4 overall, so it's not like I've killed 8 bosses right now. Just in case, I don't know, I felt like it was cool. Yo, we have the first unique desiccated pages. I think that's how you say it at least. These can be turned into any of the pages for the different tomes, I think, like Tome of Fire, Tome of Earth and all that. Now, to turn these into actual usable pages, you have to reinvigorate them at different places in the game, and we're going for soaked pages because they're the most valuable right now at Temporos, and that is at 300 runecrafting experience as well. Wait, 50 per page? That's actually kind of a lot, and 16k value as well. During the fight, you basically take no damage at all except from the minions, because there's so many of them spawning, and spending time trying to kill them is not really worth it as far as I know. Maybe if you're a lower level account, but at my level I can actually blast through the boss pretty quickly. But goddamn, you do take a lot of chip damage from these. If you could deal with them very easily, it would save a lot of food and probably longer trips as well. Oh yeah, there we go, the Giant Soul Amulet on only 6 KC. As far as I know, it is pretty early since these bosses were released, but I think they're 1 in 16 drop rate. So we actually got kind of lucky on this, and of course, this is the teleport necklace to the bosses. Weirdly enough, you charge this by using Big Bones and La Runes. I guess it kind of makes sense because you use this necklace to teleport to a bunch of giants. But look at this, you can teleport to Bryothyta, Obor, and Brandon Eldrick. So this is actually really useful, but I'm going to be using it first off to teleport, of course, to Brandon and Eldrick. And it's right outside of the room. That literally saves like a minute plus, maybe even 2 minutes of running every single kill. The run to Bryophyta and Obor is kind of annoying as well, and I assume you're teleporting right outside of these as well? Yeah, you do, so really useful necklace if you want to greenlog Bryophyta or Obor on your account. I don't know why you want to do that, but I'm sure there's people out there. Oh my god, 21 pages in one drop? That has to be close to the max amount you can get. That's like 1,000 runecrafting experience now that I think about it. You know what? Until the end of the grind, I'm going to be stacking these up for a massive runecrafting experience drop at the end. No shot. No way that just happened. What? 17 KC! That has to be the most lucky I've ever been on a grind and on drop rate ever. 17 out of 1 in 3,000. What do I do now? I mean, don't get me wrong, this pet is awesome and I'm really happy to have it, and it can even metamorphosize, so let's go ahead and teleport out and give this a go and see how this actually works, this pet, and have more of a closer look at it. Wait, where is my pet? Is it gone? Okay, after relogging, it's following me again, but let's go ahead and try out the Metamorphosize. And there he is. Eldrick the Ice King is now my pet also. It's super cool with these pets that can metamorphosize, honestly. And this one overall is really awesome. I like both of the forms. So might be a new favorite boss pet. But I guess there isn't much else to do now except just put the pet into the menagerie so it can enjoy my house along with all my other pets. So you might be wondering, what are we doing now? We've completed the on-drop rate challenge, I won it at 17 KC. Well, I think it's time to actually use this opportunity to finish the entire log, because the rest of the items are all pretty common as I alluded to earlier. So let's spend the rest of the video completely greenlogging the Royal Titans. After the last clip, I actually had to take some time off to plan my trip to Runefest, but as I log in today, combat achievements for the Royal Titans are officially out. So along with all the collection log stuff, we are going to be completing hopefully every single combat achievement on this log. Looked through a bunch of the easy ones and did 3 of them in my first KC back. Pretty much all of these are very, very simple ones. Oh, and for loot, we get another Giant Soul Amulet, which actually isn't fully useless. It's not great, but you can actually turn these in for some big bones at the Old Man, which of course we'll do at the end. So there's a combat achievement that seems pretty difficult actually, where you have to kill both of the Titans at the same time as you're standing in this circle right here. So let's see, before it activates... Wait, is that not it? I thought I would get it. I guess I did it wrong. Okay, let's give it another go. Started, and as soon as it activates, attack and declawspec this. I think that's it. Royal Titan Adept. That is the wrong achievement. That's for like 25 KC. Why did I not get the other one? Am I doing it wrong? I felt like I killed them while the circle was up. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go. We have another one of the unique items, Fire Element Staff Crown. This is one of the pieces for the Twin Flame Staff. And it's actually worth quite a lot of money. I think it's going for roughly 5.7 million on the GE tracker, so let's see if it actually sells. Instantly sells. Okay, let's see. Okay, 5.7 pretty much. Well, apparently I'm an idiot. I thought you needed to kill them while it's activated. It's actually before it activates. That's quite a lot easier to do. There we go. It takes too long. You know how I mentioned that the minions is most of the damage, if not all the damage you take here? Well, I realized you can actually one-shot them by using elemental spells of the opposite kind, and it hits all of them at once. They hold stack. Now the problem is, I have very bad magic accuracy in my Torva gear, so I might have to try to bring 2 magic items or just anything like that to increase my accuracy, and I might be able to just clear the minions every time and basically take no damage. Alright, so we're trying to bring Arim's row bottom and top, should be good enough to get some accuracy, and we also have a saturated heart boost going, so let's see if this is enough to pretty consistently always one-tap the minions. Now, even though this might work, I don't know if it's actually worth it, because I do spend a lot of ticks then just attacking minions, and it might be better, because of banking being so fast, to just take the damage, get more food, and come back quickly, but let's try it out. And that should be all of them, and the second one, did I kill all of them? Okay, I missed one of them. But yeah, that is a very easy way of avoiding all the damage here. If you're a lower level player, you might want to do this every time, to make sure you actually secure the kills. But even if it might not be faster to do this for me, it is a good way to get the perfect Royal Titans achievement, taking no damage from basically anything. So yeah, that also proves that this is a very good method to dodge all the damage during this fight. You know, I think I've realized that for some of these combat achievements, I will need a duo partner. 130 is extremely difficult even with max gear, and doing 15 kills in one trip is honestly kind of crazy for a mid-level boss. I'm doing like 3 to 5 kill trips right now. I'm very bad at prayer flicking, and there's a combat achievement to do the entire encounter without losing a single prayer point, so I just tried to do it without using prayer. And that ended up being absolutely impossible. I was getting shredded. So for this one, I think I'm going to be doing a duo, because if you're killing the boss very quickly and the damage is more evenly split between you, it should be doable. Okay, 149, that is a personal best. I'm trying to get the 130 solo, but shaving off 19 seconds on my personal best now, it seems kind of impossible, because that was a really, really fast kill. First, hard clue scroll coming in. These are 1 in 25, so actually kind of unlucky on that one. But I've been so lucky so far, so I'm not gonna complain. Ew, it's so close. 139 solo is honestly kind of a beast kill time. You know, with the on-drop rate challenge being done and all, I do want to try this take pages option. It's not going to show as loot on the loot tracker, unfortunately, but this is a force way, 100% sure way of getting pages. And I got 13 this time and a hard clue scroll, apparently. I didn't know you could get that. But that right there is like guaranteed runecrafting experience. And finally, we actually found a duo partner to do a bunch of the combat achievements and very fast kills with. It ended up being Krebus, another content creator. His channel will be linked below, but let's get into the kills. Oh, and the kill trackers will unfortunately be a bit off when we do this, because in this case, I'm not killing both of them myself, only killing Branda, for example, so Eldrick did not get a KC. But I'll adjust them after our duos. One of the first combat achievements we decided to try for was the 15 kill trip, because if you're going to be doing this, you need to do it duo.
I got mine.
Nice, mine's 9%. Oh, that. Oh, wait, we got it now?
Got it. Oh.
Let's go. Dude, look at all the loot. Wait, loot. We gotta pick all this shit up now. We gotta be fast.
Royal Titans.
It has to be
wait,
it.
do you want to leave? I think we can do one more.
Okay, well, dude, I've already started picking shit up, dude. We gotta go.
Oh, Titan kill
inventory space, dude. We don't have enough.
Okay, we can do one more.
But dude, I have nothing now. I have no food.
It's fine.
Okay,
it's fine.
okay, we do one more.
Pick up my food. There's
okay, we're good. We're good. And after that, we tried for the no prayer achievements. Yep.
Yeah.
No time to pray. Sweet.
Got 5 points.
But overall, we ended up doing a roughly 70 KC together, and it went by so extremely quick as duo. And we did basically all the combat achievements you had to be duo for. And we're back to solos, and we already get an elite clue skull, the first one of the grind. These are actually kind of rare, 1 in 100. But there's actually only one combat achievement I'm missing at this point, which is to let 10 of the elemental minions game end themselves on the lines. So let's see if we can bait them over the lines. Yeah, 3 of them dead already, and that's another 3, I think. I think I've been more safe than sorry than I had to be. I think I've baited over 30 of them over the lines at this point, but let's see, this should be it. Yep, there we go. Let them fight. And there it is. Green Logged Royal Titans, 11 out of 11. Oh, okay. A dupe fire elemental staff crown at nearly 200 KC. It's been a while since we saw an item last time, and the dupe is not great. Since the last time I got one of these items, they have crashed in price quite a lot, but that's how it goes with new content. 2.7 million is still pretty decent. Oh nah, dude, what? A third fire element crown? Another 2.6 million, I'll take it. Okay, what is going on here? A 4th fire element staff crown? Can I just get the scroll, please? That's all I want. It has the same drop rates. Oh my god. Yes, finally, the Mystic Vigor Prayer Scroll. Look at the kill tracker. 373 overall Titans and 302 overall Branda KC. This is a one-time thing where you learn this scroll and you can never achieve this item again. So let's go ahead and do it. Learn Mystic Vigor, which actually replaces Mystic Might for a stronger prayer now for level 63. And that now means Branda is fully completed and we only need items from Eldrick. Oh, holy shit! Let's go! We already have the Deadeye Prayer Scroll from Eldrick. That was like 40 KC done, and that's the first unique as well. This is reverse to Branda. Let's just go ahead and learn it. Deadeye is now unlocked, and it's purple colored. Actually looks pretty good. And that puts us with only one item left missing, and because the scrolls can only be obtained one time, there is no chance of getting more duplicates. So we're now only hunting that 1 in 75 Ice Crown, and after that we're done. Oh my god, what a jump scare. That looks kind of similar to the Ice Crown, honestly, but nope, just another amulet. Oh, there it is, the Ice Element Staff Crown. That actually took a while, like 75, 80 KC, I guess that's kind of the rate for it, so can't complain too much. But we are finally out of here. It's actually kind of curious, the Fire Element Staff Crowns are going for 2 million now, but the Ice Element Staff Crowns are going for 3.5, yeah, a bit more than that even. And I don't think there's any difference between looting Branda or Eldrick, so that's kind of weird. And of course, as promised, we are now going to be handing in all of these Giant Soul Amulets to the old man. And let's see how many big bones we end up getting for these. I think we have 23, yeah, 23 of them, so let's hand them all in. 690 big bones. How much is that actually worth? I'm not sure. 340k. Okay, not too much money from that, but it's some extra profit. I'll take it. And of course, we ended up getting 14 hard clue scrolls and 4 elites. So let's go ahead and open all of those. Not a single master clue. That is kind of crazy, actually. I did anticipate to get at least one. And we can of course not forget to hand in all of these desiccated pages to get some rune crafting experience. We ended up getting 547. So let's just go ahead and do it. For how much? 27.3 thousand rune crafting experience. And that is by looting them normally. If you only take pages, you get way more than this. And it's actually worth quite a lot of money. 1.26 million GP. After selling all the uniques and all the regular drops from this grind, we ended up with 42 million GP from 472 Royal Titans. But of course, most importantly, we did get the pet during this grind. So here we are with the Royal Titans pet in front of us. And of course, along with that, a fully green completed Royal Titans, meaning I never have to go back here again. This item is the Zombie Helmet, an item introduced to old school RuneScape with the Curse of Arav quest in 2024 and is probably one of the most overlooked items in the game. The power of this helmet lies in its crush attack bonus. Placed at +8, this is the highest crush bonus out of any helm in the entire game, only matched by the Inquisitor's helmet from the Nightmare. But while the Inquisitor's helmet is valued at over 60 million GP as of this recording, the Zombie Helmet only comes in at a price of 200 600,000 and is vastly easier to obtain for Iron Man accounts. Now you might be asking, why is crush bonus even good? Some of the best defense reducing special attacks are crush based and only enact their effect on a successful hit. So having a +8 bonus reduces the risk of you missing a special attack, which could lead to vastly slower kills. So in this episode of On Drop Rate, let's defeat up to 600 armored zombies at the Simurghal's fort with the goal of receiving the zombie helmet. Now our first course of action is going to have to be to actually complete the Curse of Arav quest. I have not done that yet, but we have all the requirements ready to go, so let's get it done. I do have to say, I really love the area where you start this quest. It's like an oasis in the desert. And I don't think, as far as I know, there is another area that looks like this, so really cool design. And staying on the same topic, this area looks amazing as well. It's like we're Indiana Jones exploring the desert's mysteries. And the first boss of the quest, it only has one mechanic. When it shakes the screen, you have to walk back a bit to avoid some damage, and that is about it. And it has been defeated. The zombies we're going to be hunting in this video is not to be confused with the zombies in this cave right here, unlocked after the quest Defender of Varrock. These ones only drop the broken zombie axe, which I actually did an on drop rate for already. We are going to be killing some other zombies with a different loot table. Oh my god, they have a gobo from Croc in a cage. That has to be a reference, right? If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section. And there he is, the final boss of the quest, Arav himself. Not a very difficult boss fight, you just have to kill some minions that leave venom on the ground and then walk through the boss when he throws an axe at you. And that should be it. Let's see the experience drops coming in here. I haven't checked the rewards yet. 40k mining, 40k thieving, and 40k agility. And of course, most importantly, access to Simurghal's forts. Now you might be wondering, why am I in Tithe Farm? Well, I have a very good reason for this, and I'll explain it in just a second. I don't think I've got a farming experience drop on this account in ages, but that is 75 farming achieved. The one and only time I actually train farming, I guess. And after this haul, that should be good enough to get 250 points. Yes, 254 points. And it's time now to explain why I'm doing this. It is to finally buy an herb sack for 250 points because on this grind, the zombies actually drop a good amount of unnoted herbs. And I've had so many comments on grinds where you do pick up a lot of herbs that I should get an herb sack, and now it's finally done. Because I'm going to be killing a lot of zombies at the same time, it is possible that the rune light trackers are not going to be very accurate, so we're going to be using a bone crusher necklace. This one will give me 2.2 prayer experience after every single zombie I kill. So with the help of an XP tracker, we can very accurately track how many zombies I've killed. Now, traveling to the Simurghal's fort is actually quite a long trek. There might be a path I'm not thinking of, but the fastest one I could think of was teleporting to Trollheim and then run north all the way to the cave and then reach the Simurghal's fort. So roughly every single time I have to bank, there is a 2-minute run all the way back to the monsters. This is the gear setup we're going to be using for this grind, and I am using a Venator bow with dragon arrows to cleave down the zombies. This is actually not the best setup you can have here. The most efficient one is to use a blood barrage with magic gear. Now, blood barrage is a lot more expensive to use, and it has a way higher chance of making your tracker inaccurate because you kill so many zombies at the same time. So because of that, we're staying with ranged and the Venator bow. I guess I'm a bit of an idiot. I have not charged my Bone Crusher necklace. I never really used this. I did not even know you had to do that. So let's get some Ecto tokens and charge it up. One Ecto token is 25 charges on the necklace, so we only needed 24 Ecto tokens, and that is 25. So if I add them, we have 625 charges. I kind of want exactly 600 so we know when the grind is over. So I'm going to bank one of them and then charge it. And there we go, that is 600 charges on the necklace, so if we do not get the zombie helmet before this hits 0, we have lost the challenge. Now the real question is, where is the best spot to kill these zombies? There seems to be quite a lot of different spots, and there's a lot of these zombies in this cave. This seems to be a pretty solid spot with a good amount of them. Hopefully they do spawn very quickly, and by the way, of course, we do still have the Monster Monitor plugin tracker of 600 armored zombies, which I hope is going to be accurate, but because it's a fairly new plugin, it might be unreliable. But yeah, there we go, 1 kill already, it seems to be working. And my Bone Crusher necklace is also working with 4 experience now gained. Every kill is 2.2 prayer experience. And again, this is why the herb sack is so useful here. Already we have a grimy guam, and if I pick that up, it puts it automatically into the herb sack. You can have up to 30 of each herb in this sack, so I'm probably never going to have to bank because I have too many herbs on me. I guess I have to bring food in the future because I only thought there would be melee zombies. Don't ask me why I didn't think there would be ranged ones, but apparently they actually hit quite a lot of damage, so maybe in the next trip I'll actually bring some anglerfish as well. I already know I'll get questions about this, so I'll just answer it right now. What are the untradeable drops zombie bone you're getting in your chat log? Well, it's actually because I've started the quest Rag and Bone Man 2 and never completed it. The quest is all about collecting special bones from a bunch of different creatures, and because of that I just get these spammed in my chat. You know, I haven't really trusted the Monster Monitor plugin fully yet, but it seems to be the most accurate. I've done exactly 30 kills according to my necklace, and that is what the tracker says. But my loot tracker on RuneLite says differently, so RuneLite loot tracker beat my Monster Monitor. 48 KC in, we have the first hard clue skull of the grind, and I actually don't know how rare these are. There's not a lot of people who go here to actually kill these zombies, so the wiki has not had enough info to really know the drop rate yet. Why did I get 3 prayer experience for that? Oh, my necklace works even if it's in my inventory because it's combined with a bone crusher. Oh, I guess that is that method out of the window then. Prayer experience is not reliable anymore. But luckily the Monster Monitor is super accurate, it seems, so we actually don't need it, I guess. I did mention that these are not the same zombies as the ones after Defender of Varrock, which I already did a non-drop rate for, but that doesn't mean that these zombies does not also drop the Broken Zombie Axe, which is actually worth over 1 million GP right now. And both the Broken Zombie Helmet and the Axe is 1 in 600, so seeing any of them is 1 in 300. And this is one of the items as well, why we're bringing High Alchemy, Rune Mace. There is a couple of rune items you can get here. The Rune Mace not being the best one, but I'll take it. You know what? This chat spam, untradeable drop zombie bone is getting very annoying. And I get this on so many different grinds, so you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna get it done. Let's just complete the quest. Oh my god, what did I get myself into? Look at all those recommended items. Oh my god, look at all these bones I need. I guess that makes sense why I never wanted to do this quest. What? Dude, there is no way. How have I never killed a fire giant since the combat achievement came out? That combat achievement is literally kill 1 fire giant. I have like 300 days played on this account, just so you know. Yeah, just look at that list. A lot of bone collecting later, we are finally done. That took me probably like 30 minutes to get done, and there was also a very long and tedious like cooking process of the bones, but it's finally done, and we can get cosmetics. Can I have both of them? I'll take those. I have no idea what these cosmetics are. Maybe they're going to be really nice. 5k prayer experience, that ruins my counter even more, so I guess prayer experience is just not reliable anymore. And wait, they have stats on them? That's kind of cool, and that helmet is actually kind of crazy. Let's go. The drip is wild. And from now on, most importantly, we will not see the chat spam anymore of all those random bones. Now that Rune Kite is the most expensive alcheball you can get here, and I think the most expensive item overall, except for the zombie unique items. So this grind is not really a great moneymaker. You know, just as I say that, I get another Rune Kite. Maybe I was wrong all along. As we're going to be hitting pretty much the halfway point in 2 kill count here, I just have to say that winning an on-drop rate challenge is roughly a 60% chance of success. But pretty much for the past like 16 or 17 videos, I think I've only lost 2 challenges. So I feel like sometime soon I am going to go on the most insane unlucky streak ever. And maybe this is the beginning of that. Never mind, it is not the end of my luck streak. The broken zombie helmet actually kind of close to the end, 490 KC, and we got it before the broken zombie axe. So that is another challenge won. It is also on the miscellaneous collection log, which, by the way, I would love to complete this entire thing sometime in the future, because there's so few people who have done that. But before we can actually use this helmet, it is in a broken state right now. We need a hammer and some smithing. I actually just had this thought. Repairing this helmet I think gives me 500 smithing experience. And you can actually buy this helmet in a broken state from the GE. So if you want just a bunch of like half AFK I guess smithing experience, you can just repair a bunch of these. And the icing on the cake is that you look so damn goofy with this helmet. And to top everything off, we have 4 hard clue scrolls to open, and maybe we can get some uniques here, or maybe even a master. Gothic's Chaps, that is not a new unique. And the last one for another unique, but not one that I don't already have. I would say a pretty decent opening in terms of value, but no masters. This is a Rune Dragon, located in the Lithcurn Vaults, and is only accessible after the completion of the Dragon Slayer 2 quest. Amongst other drops, these dragons hold a very special unique item, an item required to make a strangely forgotten piece of armor. This item is the Dragon Plate Body, made from the Dragon Metal Lump, which has a 1 in 5,000 drop rate from the Rune Dragons. Other than the Dragon Plate Body looking absolutely stunning, it sadly does not have much use in the game due to its lack in any offensive stats or prayer bonus. And with Barrow's gear being stronger defensively and a lot easier to obtain, the space for the Dragon Plate Body in the OSRS meta sits comfortably in the F tier. But because I do love grinding strange items that take way too long to get, let's hunt up to 5,000 Rune Dragons with the hopes of receiving the Dragon Metal Lump to create my own Dragon Plate Body. Now when it comes to gear, there really are 2 different choices you can go with. The full melee Justiciar Dragon Hunter Lance method, which is way more AFK, but the kill times are going to be slower. Or you can do what I'm going to do, which is bring Tunic Shadow with full Ancestral Max Mage to just deal as much damage as possible and get the fastest kills. Actually getting to the Rune Dragons is very simple. All I have to do is click my dig site pendant in the house to Lithcurn Vaults, and it teleports me right here, which after that I simply have to run down the stairs, enter this massive door, and arrive on the other side, and here we are. We are right at the Rune Dragons. So banking should take no longer than 30 to 45 seconds. There's actually a scoreboard outside of these dragons tracking your kill count, and we're starting on 336. So if we end up losing this challenge, this should say 5,336 KC, which would be kinda crazy. Now, additionally, on my collection log, I have all the weird dragon items already obtained, except for the Dragon Metal Lump, the elusive item I really want to get unlocked here. So on the other side, if we do end up winning this challenge, we will have the last item unlocked here. We have set up the monster monitor, 0 out of 5,000 Rune Dragons killed. Let's start the grind and rack up some KC. The Rune Dragons do have a special electrical attack that can be fully avoided by having the insulated boots, which unfortunately means I cannot bring the Eternal boots to get some extra damage, but the damage you can avoid from the electricity attack by having these is definitely worth it. So if you're going to be killing a lot of Rune Dragons, head over to your nearest Slayer Master and buy the insulated boots. Now additionally to the electricity attack, it also has a life leech attack. The Rune Dragon basically does an enchanted Onyx Bolt attack on you, which hits through ranged prayer and heals the dragon for whatever damage it did to you. And I think this might be one of the biggest attacks I'll take high damage from as a major. I didn't cover what I have in my inventory too much, but it's very simple. Saturated Heart, Extended Super Anti-Fire, some prayer pots, and then food. But we also have high alchemy, because we are going to get so many rune items on this grind, it is actually ridiculous. I guess it makes sense, they are called Rune Dragons after all. Alright then, we ended up getting 7 kills on our first trip, not too many honestly, and I did not see anything really too valuable, but even then, we managed to make 138k, and I think that's as low as one trip is going to be for 7kc, because we got nothing of value really. Oh, we have a Dragoon Med Helmet. Usually you see these from rare drop tables, but here they have a 1 in 127 drop rate, so not even that rare to see. We should see a fair amount of them in our long stay here. But they are definitely pretty good alchable. You know, I just realized, maybe Rune Dragons was not the right pick for a non-drop rate grind after I've won so many challenges in a row. Because if I am due for a loss, this would be a devastating loss at the end of this. I'm going to be getting like hundreds of millions of GP worth of loot. So let's hope to see the item, I guess. I guess you guys don't want to see it. 121k for 36 Dragon Bolts unfinished. Actually the best drop we've seen so far. It's also 1 in 127 just like the Dragon Med Helm. And there's actually quite a few of these 127 drop rate items. And I'll go over them as we see them because without a doubt we are going to see all of them. Every single time I do big grinds like this, I want to set a 1 hour timer to see how many kills an hour I managed to get. And we just hit that 1 hour and we almost landed on 65 kills. And I did actually focus up really well to get as many kills an hour here, so this is the highest rates most likely I can get. That means if we are going all the way to 5,000 kills, this is going to take 77 hours of purely killing Rune Dragons. Killing Rune Dragons actually really makes me think of how different the game is compared to when I was a kid. If you wanted a rune bar, you had to get 85 mining and 85 smithing, and with really bad XP rates. And these days, all you have to do is just kill a rune dragon and you'll see one every time. Imagine spending an entire hour doing something, and this is what the progression bar looks like until you're done. No, I wanted to stay for the loot for the final dragon. I was too greedy. It is what it is. First death. Only took 74 KC. No way, I can pick up my own bones. That's +4 prayer experience. That actually makes dying worth it. Oh, the Wrath Talisman. I was expecting this, 400 GP, and this is special because it's on the 1 in 127 drop rate item table I was talking about. I could have had a dragon item. Instead, we get 400 GP. Now that's a good 1 in 127. The Dragon Plate Legs, 161k. That's a very good alch, and I don't even know if I can alch this. Yeah, my settings are too low. I have to change that. I think 200k is going to be a good minimum item value needed for high alchemy. So let's just go ahead and click this. We should be able to do this in combat now. Oh my god, what? Okay, 227 KCN, Dragon Limbs. These are actually kind of rare. It's 1 in 800, so of course I did expect to see these way before we're done with the challenge, but that's quite a lot earlier than I expected. And getting that item makes this trip by far the most valuable one I've had so far at 1.4 million for like what, 11 KC I think I did, so that's pretty good money. Wait, oh, we got an Elite 2 Skull. I did not even see that. I don't have it tagged for some reason, but yeah, there we go. That's 1 in 300, so on this grind we should see like, what, a bit more than 15, 16 of them? I actually really love doing Elite Clue Scrolls because there are so few steps that force you into the wilderness and you have to re-gear every single time, as opposed to hard Clue Scrolls that do that basically every single time. And that's the first one completed, and as usual, we are keeping these until the end of the grind. And there it is, the Dragon Plate Skirt, the last 1 in 127 item, and it took nearly 400 KC to get all of them. Okay, we are definitely cooked. This is like the first time my internet has crashed in over a year. And of course it happens when I'm killing super deadly rune dragons. You know, why could it not have been when I was doing a farm run or something? Or, well, actually, I never really do farm runs. I just kill monsters all the time, so I guess that's why. We have officially run out of charges in my Tunic and Shadow, so I'll have to teleport out and recharge it. I started with 6,500 and that lasted me 439 kills. You can actually recharge this all the way to 20,000, which is exactly what we're going to do, and I'll keep track of how many charges we use during the grind. And obviously, because I knew the Tunic and Shadow will run out of charges, I have pre-bought 100,000 Chaos Runes for nearly 11 million GP. And 40,000 soul runes for 7 million, which is enough to charge it all the way to 20,000. So fully charged Tunic and Shadow is like 18-17 million GP in value. I think it's time I update you guys a bit on the loot, because we just hit 500 Rune Dragons, which of course is the 10% mark to the final 5,000. But we've made nearly 18 million GP so far. That is 36,000 GP per kill on average. And obviously extrapolating that all the way to 5,000 KC means we're making somewhere between 170 to 180 million GP. Yo, second Dragon Limb on less than 800 KC, so we are very lucky with these so far. What? What is going on? What is that? Like 20 kills and another Dragon Limbs? Can I actually still see the old one in my chat box? Let's go ahead and scroll up. I can! It's right there! Look at that! That's crazy! I'm very sure the Tunic and Shadow is the best weapon to use here, but I do want to try out the Dragon Hunter wand, because this is probably the only place in the whole game where this is kind of usable. The Dragon Hunter wand actually gives a 50% accuracy towards dragons and a 20% damage boost. And the Tome of Earth gives a 10% accuracy and 10% damage boost with earth spells. And they cost 15 million as a collective, so if this is decent at least, it's a good budget version of the Tunic and Shadow. I actually have no idea what the max hit of this weapon is, but oh, apparently we can hit 50s, but that wasn't even the max hit. 38, okay, the damage seems pretty good actually. There we go, that's the max hit, 55. The Tunic and Shadow max hit with this gear was 65, but for a weapon that costs like 90 times less, this is not too bad. Once again, we have done the 1 hour test, and we are done in 1 second. There we go. And we managed to get 52 kills. So, yeah, 13 kills less than the Tunic and Shadow, so definitely not as good. But getting 52 kills an hour compared to 65 with a weapon that costs literally 13 million instead of 1.2 billion is honestly really good. I'm happy with the results, and I can report back that the Dragon Hunter wand is actually pretty decent here. Also, this is editing Alonescape right here. They just buffed this wand by quite a lot. So this weapon could actually be stronger than the Tunic and Shadow now at Rune Dragons. So absolutely worth giving a go. An absolutely monumental moment of the grind coming up here after this Rune Dragon if it doesn't heal too much. I am going to be hitting 1000 KC. And I do have to report back. This is miserable. I honestly thought that, oh, you know, it's not that bad. I can just half AFK this all the way to 5000. It'll be over without too much pain. Well, that's not the case. I have to focus up not to die constantly. The kills are excruciatingly slow, but I will keep going anyways. We have another 4000 to go. Yo, they're going up in price. 1, 2, 3 million. Nice. Oh, sweet summer child, he thinks that's my second limbs. Little does he know. This is the best trip of Rune Dragons I've ever had. I got a full Giga Chad outfit, look at this. 1 trip, and I'm already fully geared. At this point, I've had so much time just sitting here, looking at my screen, killing Rune Dragons, and thinking. And it's kind of crazy how rare some of the items that have absolutely no use in the game actually is. Like, why did Jagex decide that a 1 in 5000 drop from Rune Dragons, a really hard monster to kill, is the only way to get a dragon plate body, which requires 60 defense? But the level 70 Barrows gear, which is better, is just dropped from Barrows, which is like 1 in 300 per piece, so it's like 1 in 15 or something per chest. I do think this needs a bit of a rework. I mean, at this point, do I even show these anymore? That's the 5th Dragon Limb at 1.6k KC. It's kind of crazy that I've got 5 so far, because in 5000 KC with a drop rate, I should have only seen 7. Okay, my chances of getting the Dragon Metal Lump is probably out the window. My RNG is all going into Dragon Limbs. Okay, we have hit 2000 Rune Dragons. Finally the bar is getting some progress, and we need 500 more for the halfway point. Of course, we haven't seen the Dragon Metal Lump yet, and we're risking quite a lot of money right now. Nah, this cannot be real. This guy beside me, Carthagus, literally just got the Dragon Lump, and he goes, ooh, Dragon Lump, and he, oh my god, he actually got it. That's so cursed, man. Could have been me. Not here to show a significant kill count milestone, but loot-wise, we just hit 100 million worth of loot. And you can see that the kill count tracker is slightly off on RuneLite, unfortunately, but I think all the loot is actually there that I have received. It seems that sometimes I hit a Rune Dragon to like 10% hit points, I teleport out and someone else kills it, and that can kind of mess up my RuneLite tracker. Well, this time I am coming back to you guys with a kill count milestone, 3000 kill count, and I have been keeping track of how much time I've spent here on a rough estimate, and we have actually just barely hit 50 hours spent just killing Rune Dragons. You know, on a new account, you could have done probably like 100 quests, had a fighter torso, had like 70 base combat stats, some crazy stuff. But instead, I'm here killing Rune Dragons. It seems like Dragon Limbs have been going down in price. They're nearly less than 1 million, and I haven't actually sold any of the ones I've collected so far, so I guess I've lost like 1 million GP just to the market value. Unfortunate. You know, maybe it's a bit late now, 3200 kills almost into the grind, but I saw this guy beside me use a Vengeance. And the thing is, these dragons do hit very hard on me, so I do think Vengeance could actually be worth it here to speed up the kills. Obviously, this is going to make inventory management a bit harder because we don't have high alchemy, but let's give it a go. Let's try an hour with Vengeance, see how many kills we can get. And if it's a decent increase, I'll just have to deal with a full inventory sometimes. Something that's really good about Vengeance here is that it doesn't proc off the electricity that hits you like 1 or 2 damage per time. So most of the time it reflects damage is when they use the Onyx Bolt special attack, which also heals them, so you kind of negate some of that healing with the Vengeance proc. And just to show that, here's an excellent example. 32 heal, and it reflects 24. Another 1 hour test has been done, and I am really happy with the results. We ended up getting 68 kill count in this hour, so 3 more than without it. And the thing is, I could have had a bad hour. I could maybe even get up to 70 kill count with this. And any small amount of kill count per hour increase is definitely going to be worth it for how long this is taking. So for the rest of the grind, we are not using high alchemy, we're just going to be banking all the rune items. But even though Vengeance was a great help to speed up the grind, I did not have to wait too long. Oh my god! Yo! Let's go! We're done! I can leave! Finally! You guys do not understand how absolutely agonizing this grind has been. Holy 3.6k! I was so done with this. I really just wanted it to be over, and we win the challenge on top of it. I get to keep all this loot. Look at this. Insane amounts of money made here. And on top of that, we now have all the dragon items on the collection log, on the miscellaneous section at least, which are all extremely annoying items to get. And now looking at the plaque here, we have actually killed 3,591 since we started, so unfortunately the monster monitor is just 3 kill count off, but that's close enough to me, and obviously I would have kept track of this if I would have hit all the way to 5,000 on the tracker, but there's no need because we won. And of course, we need to craft the dragon plate body from scratch. Look at this. We need a dragon chain body for it, the dragon metal lamp, which of course we just got, and finally the dragon metal shard, which costs 1.8 million from the Myths Guild. So all we need to do is drink the Kovacs grog, get all the way to 90 smithing. Look at that, we can make the dragon plate body. Let's see the smithing experience. 2,000, okay, not too crazy. And there it is. Let's go ahead and equip it. I actually think this looks absolutely incredibly good. That looks so good. I wish this was useful, right? Look at it. All the stats are just pure defensive, minus 30 magic and minus 15 ranged. And it's only worth 2.3 million. I mean, for how rare it is, it's honestly kind of sad. And before we end the video, I do want to open these 8 elite caskets, so let's get that done. Oh shit, wait, we got a Ranger's Tunic, 3.2 million. It's so weird, I've got so many of these from Elite Clue Scrolls, but good money. And First Master. Oh hell no, look at this step. What? You need full blue moon? This Master Clue step is a new one, obviously, since Varlamore Part 2 came out, but that is ridiculous. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought, 8.5 million for one step. There are worse ones, like the Bryophyta staff, which is like 13 million, I think. But that's still a lot of money for one step. Master completed, let's get back to Elite opening. And the last one, another Master, nice. Okay, listen, I've seen so many comments telling me just to get the fighter torso, but I am not about to find a group to do this with right now, so I'm dropping it. In the future, trust me though, in the future, I will get this done, and I will be able to complete all masters, but not this time. But this one master that we did complete better pay out now, because we spent 9 million on the set to complete it. That doesn't look good. We got a collection log item, which is never too bad, and ooh, 69 masters completed. And I look sick, man. But here we are at the end of the grind. All the big items sold in the GE exchange right here says 60.1 million of value. And the dragon plate body sold for 2.2 million, which, well, is kind of depressing for how rare it is and hard it is to create. But after collecting, we have made 131 million. And as for how many charges we used of the Tunic and Shadow, we used 48.2 thousand charges, which is 53.6 million worth in just charges on the weapon. And with all the other supplies included, our profits are probably in the 50 to 60 millions. In today's video, we are taking on the newly released high-level duo boss Yama, located in the Chasm of Fire in the Kingdom of Korend. And the item we're looking for to win this challenge will be the Soul Flame Horn at a drop rate of 1 in 300. Now, because this boss is best done in duo, I'm going to count this challenge as one if either me or my partner receives the horn, as all the uniques vary in drop rate depending on your individual contribution. Meaning if I end up doing some solos and some duos, it's going to be impossible to count the exact drop rate of the item. The 300 kill tracker has been set up, and let's have a quick look at the collection log. We're starting off at 55 KC with none of the big items unlocked, but hopefully we'll see a couple of these, including the Soul Flame Horn. The method I'm using to get to Yama is by using a fairy ring in my house with a DJR combination, which teleports me right to the Chasm of Fire. Enter this crack in the ground and then click on this chain, which requires 83 agility, which I exactly have, and you arrive pretty much exactly at Yama. And yes, I do still have to use a Drayman staff for the fairy ring because I have not done the hardest quest in the game, Sheep Shearer. I will only complete this quest if I hit 100k subscribers, so please subscribe, thank you. Now let's briefly talk gear. This boss can either be done with magic or melee, and I'm choosing to use magic as it's the easier method of the two and I'm not very experienced here. I'll be using max magic along with a purging staff as well as a tunic and shadow specifically for the final phase where the boss gains some magical defense, where we'll also use the accursed scepter special attack to reduce it. Now, how does the fight actually work? Over the course of the fight, Yama will rotate between a big fire and shadow attack, and right before he uses each attack, you'll have to walk over the correct rune to protect yourself from its damage. Additionally, Yama can summon void flares, orbs that look like those 2000s electric balls everyone had, if you remember those. Kill this quickly before the yellow bar below their health fills, otherwise they explode, dealing damage and heal the boss. At roughly 60 and 30% HP on Yama, the boss will drag you into a minion phase. Quickly jump over the rocks while avoiding the fire waves, attack the minion first with magic and then melee on a rotation because it protects against your most recent attack. And in the final phase at 30% you will have to avoid falling flames, walk through shadow walls and rotate ranged and magic protect on a cycle. Oh, and also kill occasional void flare spawns. And that should be it, the first kill of the entire grind, and good to see the Monster Monitor plugin is working. We got some combat achievements and a dossier for the first one. These are not super rare, these are the items that can give you contracts here, and here on screen you can see all the different ones you can get, the best one being like 80 million right now, so let's see what we get. 3 sensory clouding, because we got 3 of them, I don't expect them to be worth a lot. Okay, it says 1.2 million each, but I highly doubt that, to be honest. I was actually bringing a Saradomin Godsword specifically to melee the minion, but I think an Emberlight is better, but I can still use the Saradomin Godsword for its special attack to heal some on the minion. Honestly, if you've never done Yama and you don't know the joy of jumping these rocks every single tick, I feel bad for you, man. This is so satisfying. Already seeing improvements. We have a lot of food left over, and I can probably even do a 2-kill trip solo, which is kind of cool. And we get some rubies. Never mind, I'm just an idiot. I guess we're not doing a 2-kill trip. I am well aware that melee methods are faster here, but I do know also that the last phase specifically with melee is extremely difficult and you have to learn a specific method called Donofly. And later on in the video, I will try out melee, but probably not try to learn the Donofly method. Because honestly, I just want to relax and kill the boss. Now, if I do duo, I at least want to do melee in the first 2 phases and probably mage the last one, because getting all these speed trialist achievements seems kind of unreasonable with magic because the requirements are kind of crazy. Oh my goodness, what an eventful first 4KC. We got a dossier on the first one and now Oathplate shards. These are actually like 250k each, so this is a very valuable drop. So the Oathplate shards went for 2.8 million and the contract 1.7 million for 3 of them. So 4.5 million GP already made, and I'm going to turn all the uniques into platinum tokens. Because these items are new and fluctuate a lot in price, it's an easier method of keeping track of how much I initially sold them for. Oh, we have some chasm teleport scrolls. These would be very useful to use to teleport to the boss instead of using the Drayman staff, because you land right where the chain is that requires 83 agility, but let me show you why I'm not using these. The reason why is because these are actually worth more than 90,000 GP each, insta sold for 90k, and 552,000 for simply 6 teleports, which in the long run would feel like a bit too much money lost for me. Hey, forgotten lockbox already. That is way before its drop rates. Now these are interesting because they can drop the Oathplate armor. Each piece has a 1 in 400 drop rate, and as you can get all of them, it's 1 in 134 chance to see one. So let's see, are we going to get that 1 in 134? Oh, no, but Oathplate shards, that's a lot of money. That's a good one. And the elite clue scroll coming in, the kill after. Oh my god, this is so eventful. A bit of a weird but fun fact about Yama is that you can actually bring 100 noted pineapple pizzas to the boss to try out the Catalyst, Shard and Worm acquisition contract fights. Now the trade-off for this is that you do only get standard loot rolls, but it's good for, I guess, Iron Men who wanna try the fight out without having to get the specific contracts themselves. Barrel of Demonic Tallow, probably the worst unique to get on a main account, but on an Iron Man, pretty decent. This item holds 100 of the reagents to make the Surge Potion, which when drunk restores 25% special attack energy. Yo! What? Okay, well, 19 KC, Oath Plate, Chest, 102 million. It says 106 million in the chat. Okay, I guess we're making money in this video. This grind has been so crazy so far, what? I think the price is going down on this item according to the GE tracker, but let's see. Okay, insta sold for 100 million, 98 million after the tax, but can't complain about that. That's a lot of platinum tokens. Let's add it to the loot tab. Of course, I have some potions in here as well, but I think I've made already like 105, 110 mil from this grind. And the kill after, we have a dossier. This is getting kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what we get. As a famous man once said, hamina, 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 hamina. That is ass. I think that's really bad. It says, again, 1.1 million, so maybe it's not that bad. Oh, fuck, that's the wrong rune. Oh my god. No, what am I doing? Okay, I actually think I could have lived there if I just kept walking. You take less damage the further you are from the impact point, but I kind of just spaced out. Turns out they were not very good, 82,000 GP each. I haven't really talked much about speed, but I think this was a very, very fast kill. Let's see. Yeah, sub 6-minute kill, so in a duo, oh, and a dossier as well. I think in a duo that would be like a sub 3-minute kill, which is really quick, honestly. And, oh, familiar acquisition. I do think these could actually be valuable. Oh, look at that, 2.5 million each. Best scroll so far, I guess. If they sell for that, of course. Well, not quite, but not bad either. 1.8 million per scroll. I'll definitely take that. 3.2 million from one dossier. Oh, we got it! The Rite of Vile Transference. I was waiting for this from the dossiers. This scroll is a permanent upgrade to the Death Charge spell from the Archaeos spellbook. So, if we go ahead and read it, there's going to be a bit of an animation. Red Skull, that's a cool one. And there we go. The Death Charge ability has now been upgraded. Let's give it a try. So, previously, when you had this activated, after you killed one monster, you gained 15% special attack energy left, which I just gained, but now it lasts for 2 kills, so you can get up to 30% back, which on really any bosses with minions or any Slayer task is extremely good. Oh my god, that red beam scared the shit out of me because I think that's the same color of beam I would get if I would get the horn. But I mean, Oathblade Charge is good as well. No way. Okay, I guess we confirmed it. Red was the same correct color of beam. This is so dumb, man. How many challenges have I won in a row at this point? It's ridiculous. Soulflame Horn, 47 KC, all solos. I never even got to do duos. It's actually even going down in price. It sold for 7,373 before tax, so yeah, not too great money there. You know what? After I got the Soulflame Horn, I had a moment to think, and I think because I've won so many challenges in a row, I have to make it a bit more difficult for myself. And because you can do Yama both solo and duo, and I only did solo so far, I'm going to split this video into 2 different sections. The first challenge done was all solo, and now for the rest of the video, I'm going to set up another 1 in 300 for the Soulflame Horn, but I can only do it duo. However, just to make it a bit spicier, if I do not win the second challenge of duos, I still have to give away all the loot that I've collected from both the solo and the duo challenge. So starting off this duo grind, I teamed up with OSRS and we tried actually to do an entire melee kill. Now the first 2 phases is extremely easy with melee and honestly I could have done it solo. But the final phase is something completely different. You might see that I have all these marked tiles, but honestly we had really no idea how to properly use them, and that's the only way you can do melee here. And the final phase doesn't last for too long anyways, so I think after this we are just going to go with magic for the final phase and stick to melee for the 2 first phases. Yep,
I mean, this is...
that's a lot easier. Just melee everything except the final phase, and then just mage the last. And it should still be very quick. Like, what's the kill time on this one? 3:59. Dude.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
When I'm there, you can start it. I'm gonna buff myself now with Mark of Darkness. Wait! Bro, you started it before I was there. You teleported me out.
Wait, what?
I was running to the boss, man.
But you were in the arena though.
Yeah, but I wasn't there yet. I was like running to the boss. Oh, dude, it's already dead. This was such a fast kill. Right? Oh, I just stood in everything at the end. I spaced out.
You did.
Okay, let's see the kill. That has to be like a 3:30, right? 3:11! Oh my god.
That is pretty good.
That was quick. Jesus.
And I get Rune Chain, buddy. Let's go. I'm fucking
go!
rich. Okay.
Almost as good as an Oath Plate.
I love how it put like
We're cooked, we just know it.
Dumb and dumber.
Okay, stop. Now, because 300 Yama is a lot of kills, I'm probably going to swap partners now and then and just try to find really anyone who wants to duo with me. Over the course of the video, you'll see me play with other content creators, friends of mine from my Discord, or just honestly someone random that I can pick up if no one else is online in the Yama specific world. Now, unfortunately, something I have noticed when I'm doing duos is that sometimes the Monster Monitor plugin does not count a kill. Just like that, you could see it did not move my counter up by 1. And I think it only happens when I do not get the MVP, when I've only contributed less than 50%. But luckily, you can manually edit it, so every time it misses a kill, I'll just manually add it. Hello, editing Alonescape here. So I was looking for duo partners in the Yama world, and I found this guy called Mason Killam who wanted a duo partner. Now at the time I had no idea who this was and what type of experience he had with the boss, but he wanted a duo, so I joined him. Now later on, I found out by looking at his high scores that this guy had 2,800 Yama kills and was ranked 27 in the entire world. So I guess I kind of lucked out with an extremely good duo partner for a while. Oh shit! Look at that! Second KC already! He has an Oath Plate helmet. We are splitting everything, by the way, and I really trust this guy. He's not going to scam me, hopefully. Well, at least, please, don't. By the way, pretty much all the Oath Plate items are worth exactly the same amount for some reason. I'm not sure why, so that is a massive 47.5 million split. Oh wow, we got 2 combat achievements, Firefighter and Contract Choreographer? Choreographer. I don't know what they are, but you can see them on screen. Oh, let's go! Oathplate helmet number 2 with the same guy. The item is literally even going up in price, so this time it's me giving the split of 48 million exactly. We have a new duo once again, Matson, so big shout out, but that is 100 KC done, all done in duos. And if the 200 KC left is going to be as good as the first 100, we have a wild ride ahead of us, I'll tell you that. Some of the sigil ones are like 400k, I think this one is like 80k, but I could be wrong. These ones are 45k! Oh hell no!
Massive!
Another Oathplate helmet? No way, 103 million. It's going up in price like crazy. And this time my duo partner is someone from the clan, Abu Afriza, big shout out. And he's wearing Arims, so this split is probably going to be a massive upgrade for him. Again, it keeps going up in price, 49.8 million GP now. Next time I get one, if I get another one, it might be over 50 mil split. This time, doing some duos with Telecon of Chunk Volcano fame, and we're hitting the halfway KC point, 150, and he had actually never done Yama before, so I was teaching him while we were going, and surprisingly he did not really die. So yes, if you do watch Telecon, he's a gamer. What the hell, 22.4 thousand fire runes? I mean, I was out of fire runes almost, so that's a perfect drop, but that's so insanely many. Man, every time I'm doing duos with this Mason Killam guy that has so many KC racked up, we're not really making any mistakes, so we're barely using any food, so we can do like 10 kill trips, it's insane. But that is 200 KC done, and of course we have not seen the horn yet, and we have seen a lot of Oathplate items. My GP per hour so far here is roughly 17 million, which is pretty much double the rate according to the wiki, and we're still risking all of it. Dude. Are you kidding me? Another helmet? What? How many of these have we seen so far? Is it 4 at this point? Or is it 3? No, I don't know. It's been so many, man. It's slightly gone down in price, but really nothing that really matters. 49.35 million GP split. You know, seeing that meter go all the way into the green and being after this one at 250. Yep, there we go. It's, well, it's nerve-wracking. I did want a challenge. I wanted to really risk it for once because, I mean, we have just been so incredibly lucky in this series lately, and double risking it felt fair, but at the same time, with all the uniques we've got, it's going to sting if I lose. 270 KC, that is percentage-wise 90% done. And are we going to get the horn on this one? No, we get Diabolical Worms, the worst drop you can get. 280 KC down, 20 more to go.
I think we can do one more. What about you?
Yeah. Oh! Yo!
Oh my god, you got it! Holy shit!
Oathblade chest! It's like 114 mil, dude. Yeah.
Still no harm, man. Holy shit, man.
That's such a massive drop, though. That's like, what, 55 mil split or something?
Really?
Holy,
Ooh.
yeah, look at that.
Oh my
Yo.
god, that looks good, man.
That's insane. 54. No, that's okay. That's wrong. Wait.
Just give me
54, 150. Wait, how much is it? Is this correct? No. Dude, okay.
Bro, man.
Okay,
Try to scam me here. Like, come on, man.
Wait. What is it? It's
Do you need a
54 150 000, right? Oh, there we go.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
correct. That's correct. I can do math, okay?
This guy, I swear to God, man.
I can do math. 290 KC. Last 10 after this one. Come on. Give me the horn.
Oh, we got it. No.
Ah, unlucky. Only 3 kills left. One of the third last.
Oh, can you kill it? Oh, okay, there we go.
Alright, down to the last 3. 4
Isn't it 2?
soul runes. Now it's 2 more after this one. Come on, give me
I
the
think
horn.
I have to bank though.
Yeah, give me the horn. Oh my god, I got baited by the beam. No, Oathblade shards. I genuinely thought that was the... Okay, well, never mind then. Let's see.
Here we go. KC number, whatever it is.
I gotta pop up
And we get
that I lost the challenge, but it's not over yet. Oh, double lockbox.
Wait, can we get it from here?
No,
Surely,
we can't.
right?
No. But we can get Oathblade. Tell me what you get.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Dragon
Go.
Blade skirt.
Dragon darts.
Oh,
Ah,
and it's
okay.
lost.
GG's.
Sad.
Let's have a look at how much we lost. Okay, if I get a master though, we do have to go and do it.
Okay. We? What do you mean we?
Wait, I need to swap my left. Okay, you don't have to do it. I have to do it.
I'm not gonna come on a journey with you like a fucking hobbit, man.
Okay.
Let's go on a journey.
Let's see.
Sorry. Okay, first elite class cut is
300k. That's not that bad actually.
okay.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
that's
Oh, we
top
have a
shit.
master.
Ooh, okay, master. Let's go.
Master done. 3 more to go, and another master. Okay. All right, last 2 elites. Let's see what we get. That is not very good, and last one is absolutely abysmal. Now the question is, are these masters going to be any better? Let's just go ahead and open them. 279k, and last one is... That's pretty good, but it's not any unique, sadly. This is the Elder Custodian Stalker, the highest level of the 3 different versions of Stalkers, all located in the Stalkers Den on Varlamore. The requirements to kill these Elder Stalkers is 76 slayers and the completion of the Shadows of Custodia quest. And your reason for unlocking these creatures will most likely be to get your hands on the Antler Guard. This Tribridge shield slot provides offensive bonuses in all styles as well as a hefty prayer bonus, with the downside of negative defensive stats. It currently holds a value of around 2 million GP and has a 1 in 650 drop rate from the highest level Stalkers. So let's defeat up to 650 Elder Custodian Stalkers with the simple goal of receiving the Antler Guard. The method I'm going to use to get to the Stalkers is by teleporting with my pendants of 8 that I got from Amoxliath and run all the way north until I finally reach the caves. It's quite a long run, but honestly I don't think I'll have to do this too many times because with my gear I'll be able to stay there for quite a long time. Oh, and on that note, this is the gear I'm going to be using. It's pretty close to max mage. Mostly the only thing I'm missing is the arcane spirit shield added to the Elidnis ward, which would add an additional 3 prayer bonus, 20 magic accuracy, and 2% magic damage bonus. But with that said, my gear is definitely good enough for this. As a bunny owner, I can't believe that these baby custodian stalkers will turn out in the future to be one of these goddamn hunchback of Notre Dame looking ass creatures, man. What is this? Elder custodian stalkers look so funny. But I guess it's time to set up the monitor. We are going to monitor 650 KC, and luckily this area is multi-combat, so we can actually just set up a cannon here, turn on auto retaliate and start AoEing these creatures down. And I mean, there's quite a lot of them, as you can see, so this is going to be a fairly quick grind, I'd say, but they also do have 250 hit points, so they do take quite a time to kill. Okay, we got almost 3 kills instantly, and one of them got us a longbone, which actually is a 1 in 400 drop rate. Not quite as rare as the Antler Guard, and I'll always take free construction experience. Going into this grind, I really did not know much about the Elder Custodian Stalkers, but I quickly realized that protect from melee is not good enough to protect yourself from all damage these creatures do. Apparently, as these monsters reach 20% hit points, they use a special attack that can be blocked with protect from magic and causes the player to bleed for 9 total damage over 15 game ticks. Which honestly isn't too dangerous, but if you have multiple of them on you at the same time, over time this will tick down your HP. After realizing this, I went back to my bank to get some soul runes, because these allow me to cast Blood Barrage, which basically instantly heals me half my HP because there's so many monsters. And using this spell should totally negate this entire mechanic. Unfortunately, Blood Barrage does cost 2 more blood runes per cast and a soul rune compared to Ice Barrage, so it definitely is a bit more expensive to use. But honestly, if you're doing Elder Custodian Stalkers for the money instead of the Antler Guard for the collection log slot or on an Iron Man just to get the item, you're probably doing something wrong. Oh! Wait, we got broken antlers? That is not the Antler Guard, I'm pretty sure. That is something else though, but that is a collection log slot. I actually have no idea what this even is. I think I have an inkling that it's actually the items to make atlatl darts, but did not expect that to be a collection log slot. Yep, that is exactly what it is. One of the broken antlers allows you to make 100 atlatl dart tips. And we're probably going to see quite a few of these drops because they're only 1 in 31 drop rate. So if you are an Iron Man and you really need atlatl darts, this is a actual pretty good method of getting them, and I need to turn my prayer on again. I do actually wonder if I'm kind of going even on cannonballs used, because they have a 1 in 8.2 drop rate of 20 to 30 cannonballs. And just in 44 kills, I've already looted 190 cannonballs. I've actually probably used slightly more than that, but honestly we're not losing many. So I guess if you're an Iron Man who has to make the cannonballs yourself, this is a pretty decent way of using them. Oh yes, we got the Alchemist's Signet. Another collection log slot. We're kind of just farming collection log slots at this point. And we're actually going to pick up our cannon and make use of this ring, and I'll show you guys what we are using this for. To make use of this item, we are traveling to Aldarin, which is also a part of Varlamore, and we're climbing down these stairs into the Mastering Mixology minigame. And right by the stairs, we have this small chest, which requires 60 Herblore to open, and you need 1 of these signets to do so. So let's go ahead and open it. It's going to give us some Herblore supplies, which collectively was worth 42,000 GP almost. You always do get the 1 Aldrin, which is 34,000 GP, but the best loot you can get here is a drop of 1 to 2 Raynar Seeds, which is 1 in 25. Which is like overall a maximum loot of 100k from the chest, so, you know, not amazing. Yo, this guy's glasses allows him to see in the 4th dimension. That's incredible drip. Actually, one day I would love to complete the entire Slayer collection log because we're actually kind of close to it. And it's kind of crazy that these creatures have 3 collection log slots, and we have both of the ones that are kind of common, but now we're only missing the Antler Guard. Oh my god. 110,000 from 2 Huasca seeds? These are so expensive. Oh my goodness. That and the Antler Guards is definitely the way to make money here, if you're going to make any money here. And we have another Alchemical's Signet. I'm actually going to mark this so I can easily see where they are. And I'm just going to keep this in my inventory for now. And after the grind, I'll open them all because not really worth leaving this entire area for like 40k of loot. I've actually done a 10-minute test on how many kills an hour I'm getting, and it seems like I can reach around 360 kills an hour. So this grind should only be roughly 2 hours of killing Elder Custodian Stalkers for the Antler Guard, which is kind of crazy. And evaluating for the current price of the Antler Guard at roughly 2 million GP, that means killing Elder Custodian Stalkers is a bit more than 1 million GP per hour. And let me tell you, I'm probably using quite a lot more than that in just Blood Barrage and Restorers. But of course, if you're simply doing melee and you are not using all these supplies, then you can probably make some profit here. No way is that actually a curved bone on the ground. These are over 1 in 5,000 drop rates. I feel like you always see these before the item you're hunting. I feel like it's just coded into the game. Guys, don't laugh at me. I just realized that there's a faster way to get to the Stalkers Den. You can see on the map right here. Here is an entrance to the Stalkers Den. I was previously running through all this way through the Custodia Pass and entered here. But if you enter this cave right here and then run through this cave, you can then cross these stepping stones. And right here to the north, there is another location of the Elder Custodian Stalkers. Now the problem with this area is that it's not multi-combat, so it's actually not preferred to be here if you're going to be AoEing them down because it's a lot slower to kill them, but if you're meleeing, this is a valid spot. But you can still enter here and then run all the way through this cave and then finally get to the multi area right here. An item I haven't talked about yet that is actually really good on this grind, but I did not bring myself, is the Bone Crusher Necklace, because of course that gives prayer experience every single time a bone is dropped, as well as restoring 2 prayer points per big bone. So in the long run, you're going to restore quite a decent amount of prayer and get some free prayer experience. But when I looked at my Bone Crusher in my bank, it only had 5 charges left, and you charge them with Ecto tokens, which is like the most annoying thing in the game to get, so I just could not be arsed, I'm gonna be honest. But if you have one, definitely bring it. And I was actually looking through the drop rate over all of these Custodian Stalkers, and I realized they do not drop any type of clue scrolls, which honestly kind of shocked me because I don't really know any grind that I've ever done of any Slayer creature that is at least a bit higher level that doesn't drop any type of clue scroll. Oh, we got the 3 Huasca Seed. This is a max roll, 157k, I'll take it. In case you don't know, the reason why the Huasca Seeds are so expensive is because they're used to make the prayer regeneration potions. And there really isn't too many good ways of getting these seeds because really the only 2 other options except for the custodian creatures is a Moxliath, which drops 1 seed at a 1 in 29 or 2 in 1 in 58. And the Hueycoatl, which drops 1 to 20 seeds at a drop rate of 1 in 34. But at this point, I think Huey is pretty much known to be quite an annoying boss, and it takes a long time to kill. I don't think the Elder Custodian Stalkers is the best way of getting this, but it's nice when you get some Slayer tasks here and there to do these creatures and stack up on some of these seeds. And by the way, I haven't even mentioned this yet, but these are actually some of the best Slayer experience tasks in the entire game. Oh my god. What? We're already done? Let's go. The Antler Guard, it says 1.78 million GP, but that's everything done on the collection log for the Custodian Stalkers. Before we go ahead and actually make use of these 2 alchemical signets that I got, this is what the item looks like in my hand. Actually really good, I love how this looks. And of course when it comes to stats, it has positive attack bonuses in every styles and negative ones in defenses. And amazingly, for strength bonus it has a +5, which is only 1 less than the Dragon Defender. Now of course the Dragon Defender isn't too hard to get, but of course this is a good tribrid option for if you're doing TOA for example and you want less switches. If we're going to be lucky with the Antler Guard, let's see if we can manage in 2 attempts to hit the 1 in 25 Raynar seed drop. And on the first one we do not, and on the second one we hit Toad Flax, unfortunate. But that is 94k, pretty much everything was from the Aldarium, so not great. And finally, we managed to get 4 broken antlers, and let's use a chisel on these to make the atlatl dart tips. And this process gives only 10 fletching experience and actually takes quite some time as it seems. And for the final step, we have to add these headless atlatl darts onto the dart tips, which are obtained, by the way, through the fletching minigame on Varlamore. And these give 190 fletching experience per 20, so a bit better than just 10. Sadly, the antler guard is going down in price as we speak, so I got less than 1.7 million for it, but hey, because I only had to kill 165 Elder Custodian Stalkers, I think we still profited. With the release of the sailing skill came a bunch of new monsters to fight, and one of them can only be defeated while on a Slayer task, the new Slayer boss, the Shellbane Gryphon. This boss requires 51 Slayer and 45 sailing to defeat, and drops the Bell's Folly in a tarnished version, at a rate of 1 in 400. By heading to the Giant's Foundry, this can be repaired to create a tier 65 stab weapon. And what makes it so special is that it actually has a higher stab attack bonus and melee strength than the tier 80 grassy rapier from the Theater of Blood, as well as also providing some additional defensive bonuses at the cost of a slower attack speed. And this is the item we're hunting today, so let's defeat up to 400 Shellbane Gryphons with the goal of receiving the Bell's Folly. First things first, let's get 45 sailing, and luckily I've already been doing quite a bit of sailing, so we are level 43, so let's get that done. There we go, 45 sailing done. These levels in the beginning is honestly so quick with these Barracuda trials. But before we can actually do the boss, we need to do a quest. And during this quest, we do get this Tortogan shield, which is an absolute unit on my back. Which is actually essential for the boss, because with melee protect and this shield, it blocks all melee damage. Yo, look at that. That's the boss we're going to be defeating. Of course, he's not going to be located on this island, but we are pretty much done with the quest when this is defeated. But this is what the boss looks like, and I actually love the design. Absolutely demolished. That was so easy. I'm not sure how easy the actual boss is going to be compared to that, but if that's the level, it's probably not very difficult. 10,000 sailing experience all the way to 46 sailing. I'll definitely take it, but that is the quest completed and the boss unlocked. Now we just need to get on a Slayer task. Now, importantly, you do need to buy the ability to actually get Gryphons as a task overall. It costs 80 points, and luckily I have 600 points already, so we're going to be buying that. We have 588 left over, and now it's simply time to spend all of these 558 points, or I guess 500 of them, on a block list. So the way that I went about this was block every single common task that is not Gryphons to bump up the chance of getting Gryphons as much as possible. And we ended up with 58 points left over and 1 block slot still open, and a 3.1% chance of seeing Gryphons. But I'll be back in just a second with a bunch of points farmed up, and we can continue from there. There we go, we collected over 2,000 points, didn't take too long luckily with the Wilderness Slayer, and we blocked Araxxites. Well, I guess that is a Gryphon task, technically. 55 is obviously the max I can go for here, so we have a task of 55 Shellbane Gryphons. Of course, when you do get just a straight-up Gryphon task, that would be a lot more of them, but I'll take it. Gearing up for this boss is slightly weird compared to most other bosses, because you need a weight of 45 kilos equipped to avoid one of its main mechanics. Additionally, as I said earlier, you want the Tortogan shield equipped, because that, along with melee protect, blocks every single melee damage. And you might be wondering why I'm using simply a normal black mask over a Slayer helmet. It's because it has a higher weight. And actually getting to the boss is ridiculously easy as long as you have fairy rings unlocked. You use the CJQ code and you are going to land almost exactly outside of the cave. You simply run a bit north and there is the boss cave right up there. The Shellbane Gryphon boss has 3 main mechanics. The first mechanic is an orange blob that slowly travels towards you, and if it successfully lands on you, it's going to start corroding your gear. This deals a small amount of damage over time and can be removed by unequipping every single armor piece you have on you or just by defeating the boss. The second mechanic is a tornado mechanic that starts spawning wind tornadoes under your feet. You can either stack them up for one big tornado or spread them out for small tornadoes. Standing in these tornadoes deal more damage depending on how big the tornado is. And finally, if you have a weight over 45 kilos, you will see these stars above the boss's back. When this happens, you have to click on the boss and attack quickly to knock the boss back, stun it, and give you 2 quick attacks for free. If you do not do this in time, you will be instead knocked back and take damage. And there we go, that is the first loot of the boss, and we get a collection log slot, Gryphon Feather, which is actually a guaranteed drop. Oh, and by the way, that first kill was only 37 seconds long. Of course, I have pretty high level gear compared to what the average person who kills this boss is going to have, as it's a mid-level boss or even maybe early level boss. So of course, as an average like level 70 combat player, you're definitely not going to get this fast kills. Oh, and I did forget to say that the Monster Monitor plugin unfortunately does not work for the boss is very new, so we have added the good old Rune Light Tracker, which luckily does work, and that is now 3 kills for another 37-second kill. Actually, every single kill that I've done so far has been 37 seconds. That's kinda crazy. Oh my goodness, already after 4 kills, we have pretty much the most profitable drop you can get from this boss, except for, of course, the item we're hunting, the Bell's Folly, but rune cannonballs are actually not even that rare, and I think most of the money from this boss is going to come from these. If you have no idea what the rune cannonballs are, they are ammunition used for the cannon that you can have on your ship in sailing. So unfortunately, unlike a mistake I made, you cannot use these for the cannon that you use for PVMing like Slayer. And I accidentally on release bought like 10,000 rune cannonballs, so that was a fun waste of money. Again, because the boss is so new, there is no respawn timer on this, but I did time it a couple of times, and every single time it seemed to be around 17 to 18 seconds. And when you do leave the cave and enter again, the boss instantly respawns, so if you want to kill this boss as quickly as possible, simply do that. It's just a bit more click intensive than AFKing. Because the Scythe of Vitor actually gets all of its hits in here because of the size of the monster, I thought Crystal Halberd would be really good, and I mean, it does hit pretty decently, but it has a slower attack speed as well. I'm not super satisfied with it, so I'm going to try out another weapon that I think could do really well here. And that is actually the Dragon Claws, which I haven't had a good use for in a long time, so I had to buy them back again after selling them. But I think this is a good spot for them, so let's see, 244 experience drop and a 196. And the same attack speed as the Scythe of Vitor, so I can straight away start attacking again. This is editing Alonescape here, and I do want to say that my hunch was quite correct. Today, the wiki guide for the Shellbane Gryphon was released, and the Burning Claws and Dragon Claws are cited as the best 2 special attack weapons here. And it seems like Dragon Dagger actually outperforms the Crystal Halberd here, so yeah, definitely do not bring the Crystal Halberd if you even have a Dragon Dagger. Look at that, we have a personal best of 25 seconds because of the Dragon Claws. Because I went into this boss not really knowing what to expect, I did think bringing Thralls would be a good idea, but because the boss dies so ridiculously fast, they barely get to do anything. And you do get a bunch of these rune items like Rune Claws and Rune Scimitars, and I think actually just bringing High Alchemy is going to make inventory management a lot easier. Now that is a drop. 3 types of Gryphon Feather drops, that is insane. That has to be kind of rare. I know that one of them is always guaranteed, but the other 2 is probably just 2 Gryphon Feather drops at once. You know, I've actually never tried to fully stack a tornado, so I do want to see how this looks. You can see the white circle under my feet is getting slowly bigger. And oh my god, look at that. That is a beast of a tornado. Definitely do not want to stand in that. But here we go, I am on the last kill, most likely at least, for the Shellbane Gryphon boss task, and bringing High Alchemy was definitely the right call, because inventory management has been a breeze since then. But there we go, we managed to get 72 kills, and you might be wondering, how did I kill 72 when we got a task of 55? Well, it's because I'm using Bracelets of Slaughter, which has a 25% chance to not count a kill for the Slayer task, essentially extending tasks by 25%. Now, because I'm 99 Slayer, we have the Slayer Cape for a 10% chance of getting a back-to-back task, so are we going to be blessed? Oh, we are! No way! Another boss... Oh... Okay, we just get a random boss for the back-to-back. I thought I would get the same boss task. That is so unfortunate. Well, I guess we have to start skipping again. Oh, whoopsie. I was skipping a bit too fast, but we actually did get a task. It took a while though. I spent 900 points for that, and it's 131 griffins, which is actually kind of low because you can get from 100 to 210. But a task is a task, I'll take it. You know, normally I would not comment about getting a long bone from a boss like this, but it is a universal 1 in 400 drop rate, and that happens to be the same drop rate as the item we're hunting. So I guess kind of missed the drop. Not really, but you know, kind of feels like it. But with that kill, we are coming up on the first big milestone of the grind, 100 Shellbane Gryphon kills. And the loot tracker says we made 1.8 million, which means each kill so far has been 18k of value. Which is not too bad on its own, but if we do get the Bell's Folly, it's actually currently at 10 million GP. So for roughly the past 50 kills, I have been tracking the Slayer experience an hour, and I do have to say, it's kind of underwhelming. With my gear, which is very, very good, I'm getting 27,000 Slayer experience an hour. And of course, if I had way worse gear, maybe I would be getting around 15 or even 10,000 experience an hour, which is kind of abysmal. So I would not do this boss for Slayer experience. But that is the 200 KC mark halfway through the grind, and we have not seen any single collection log slot except I guess the Griffin Feather, which is guaranteed in the beginning. So let's hope the last 200 is more eventful. You know, because the boss is so new and sailing overall is so new, I do want to see how much these items are actually selling for that is kind of exclusive to the skill. 3000 GP each for rune cannonballs and 800 for adamant cannonballs. These are definitely going above the price, and the feathers are also going above its value, but they're still not very valuable. But yeah, the rune cannonballs, 1.4 million is actually pretty good, and 900k from the adamant cannonballs. Yo, that's a drop you want to see right after talking about how valuable the rune cannonballs are. Double rune cannonball drop, 150k. Oh man, time to be put in a scary position again, trying to skip tasks for another Griffin task. We managed to get 174 done in that one by extending it quite a bit. And we're up to 245 Griffins, so one more task could be enough to finish this grind. And like an absolute idiot, I skipped way too fast, but there we go, we got another 183 Griffins, a massive task. And I still have 633 points. We were actually very lucky getting Griffin tasks in general in this video. And that is going to be enough Griffins with my Slaughter Bracelet to end the grind. Oh my god, what? How did I get hit 47 damage? I've never been hit anything more than like a 20. I need to figure that out, that's crazy. Apparently, the tornadoes actually explode after 15 seconds and deal AoE damage in the entire boss arena. And it deals more damage depending on how big the tornado has been built up to be. And because I killed the boss so extremely fast every time, I never even saw this happen. So I built up a massive tornado to try it out, and look at that. 51 damage. So that is one of the reasons too why maybe if you can't kill the boss super quickly like I usually can, you want to spread them out in smaller tornadoes. Oh man, this is kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. We got the first elite clue score of this grind, and we got it on 399 KC, one away from the big 400. No idea how rare this is, and the wiki does not know either. But unless we get the Bell's Folly here, we have a lost challenge on our hands. Rune Cannonballs for the final drop is some extra money, but yeah, that is unfortunately another challenge lost, and we are going to be giving away 10 million for this one, as I never give away less than 10 million. And of course, we did also get the one Elite Clue Skull, which I will add to the giveaway as well. And the amount we're adding is 78k. But even if we didn't actually get it ourselves, I do want to buy the new weapon and try it out to see how high I can hit with max melee. But first, we have to repair it. Alright, let's give this a go. We need 70 smithing for this, which luckily I have, so let's go ahead and use it on the polishing wheel for 500 smithing experience and the repaired Bell's Folly. So, let's see how high with a max melee strength and a strength potion I can actually hit with this weapon, which, by the way, 102 melee strength is kind of crazy. And it also looks really good. Let me move out a bit so you can see it. Really love the clean design on this one. Let's turn on Piety and attack the dummy. 59. And keep in mind that this is a tier 65 melee weapon. So this is definitely a weapon I would recommend for mid-game players to get. As of October 9th, 2024, Wintertodt was reworked in a massive way. Minigame mechanic changes aside, when successfully subduing the boss, you now straight up gain reward points which can then be claimed for loot outside the minigame at the reward cards. If you've done Tempros, this is pretty much the same system. This system makes it a lot easier to track how many reward points I need to hit a certain drop rate. Now, as for the item we're looking to achieve in this video, it's going to be the Tome of Fire at a drop rate of 1 in 1,000 reward points. But with all that said, let's head over to the most active minigame slash boss in old school RuneScape and fletch some logs, burn them, and save some pyromancers. And hopefully, receive a Tome of Fire. We are starting off at 87 fire making. I think that's notable because in 1,000 runs we might actually get 99. And I've actually already done quite a decent amount of Wintertodt. I have every single collection log slot item except for the pets. However, even though I've previously had the legs from the Pyromancer set, I don't have them anymore because I put them into my master stash and I kind of don't want to take them out. So if I get another one of those, it's actually going to be kind of useful. Of course, we're starting off with no rewards stacked up in the cart at all, and we have an XP counter of 0 fire making experience so far. And of course, for this video, we are not using the monster monitor to put 1000 KC here above my inventory because that's easily tracked with the reward cards. At this point, I'm sure most of you guys know how the Wintertodt minigame works, but for the guys in the back who have no idea what this is, let me very briefly explain. At the beginning of the game, you light this brazier which is going to gradually reduce the Wintertodd's health over time. After that, you run over to these tree roots and cut them for bruma logs. These logs can then be put into the fire for 10 points and some fire making experience. However, they can also be fletched before doing so for 25 points per one and a slight increase in fire making experience. Beside each brazier is also a pyromancer located which sometimes take damage, which can be healed by using your rejuvenation potions. However, these potions do not only heal the pyromancer, they also heal your warmth. At the beginning of the game, you start on a 100% warmth, which is going to be reduced over time, or if you get hit by a mechanic. Drinking a rejuvenation potion restores 30% of your warmth, and if you reach 0 warmth, you instantly die. And when the Wintertodd's HP reaches 0%, you gain your points. When it comes to combat achievements, it seems like I'm only missing 2, so I am kind of curious which 2 those are. One is very easy, heal a pyromancer after they've fallen, that's obviously a free one. And then the hardest one, which is 3000 points or more. That's also easily done in a solo game, which we are going to have a look at later in the video. Okay, the Pyromancer is about to take damage, so time for the first combat achievement. Obviously very easy, just heal the Pyromancer once for mummy. Well, I've accumulated 10 points, which of course didn't take too long at all, but we do have to try to just loot these 10 and see if we can get Giga Spooned for this challenge. When it comes to the looting, you can either loot one at a time by clicking search, or you can do big search and do 5 rewards at a time. Because we only have 10 right now, I'm going to go with the normal search to see everything come in one at a time. And let's see if we can get lucky and get the Tome of Fire. Bruma Torch, okay, we already have a unique. Of course, I already have this, so it's not too consequential, but it allows me to show off a mechanic at the end of this. Okay, so we did not get the Tome of Fire, but if we do talk to Ignicia, you can actually hand in this item for either a crate or burnt pages. Now, these extra crates do give 5 rewards from the loot table, but it cannot give any of the uniques except for the Dragon Axe for some weird reason. And I do believe the burnt pages are worth quite a bit more, so we're going to be handing this Bruma Torch in for 50 pages. And that makes the loot from the first 10 rewards 141k, but most of it is from the burnt pages. When I was gearing up for Wintertodt, my brain was still in the old mindset of having HP regeneration gear and prayer bonus, but you don't really need that anymore. It's all about warm clothing, and that allows me to now also use the Infernal Cape, so I can flex on all the newbies. If you don't know how the Wintertodt point system works and how many points you're going to be getting depending on how many you've racked up, I don't blame you, but it's actually easier than it seems. At 500 points, that's when you get 2 guaranteed rolls, which is the minimum. And every 5 points after that gives you an additional 1% chance for another roll. That means at 1000 points you have guaranteed 3 rolls, at 1.5k you have 4 rolls. But that also means that if you reach 1.9k points, you would be guaranteed 4 points but an 80% chance to also get a 5th point. I hope that kind of makes sense at least. So just as an example, I'm at 775 points, and if we get 800 exactly, I have a 60% chance to get 3 points and a 40% chance to get 2 points. And we got 3 points, so we hit the 60% chance. And I think we already have the first fire making level coming up, and this was ridiculously quick, 88 fire making. If we go all the way to 1000 points, I honestly don't know what level I'll end up on, but it might even be fairly close to 99, I'm not sure. But ideally I would love to max one day, and I guess this is a decent excuse for doing fire making. Oh, look who's here. We have Doug doing Wintertodt. Honestly, I'm not surprised. He was my group Iron Man teammate, and let me show you something absolutely insane about this guy. This guy has 75,000 Wintertodds completed, which, yes, is rank 1 in the entire game. And additional to that, you see this guy on rank 25, Goldest Cat 2, that's his group Iron Man that he played with me, and he still plays on it. So not only is he rank 1, he's also rank 25. You know, maybe I'm min-maxing a bit too much here, and it might not really be necessary, but I've marked this tile that I'm standing on right now because it allows me to both heal the Pyromancer and do all the things I need to do for the Brazier. And I don't have to move at all, and healing the Pyromancer is actually really important because it gives 75 points, while the second highest rewarding point activity is only 25. As I usually do on these grinds, I did a rough 1 hour test at 53 points to see how many points I can get in an hour by doing masses, and I ended on 86. So for roughly the 1 hour test, we got 33 points. So that means this grind is roughly going to be 33 hours if I keep doing masses, but I do want to try out solos later and see if the points are better. We have another 90 points collected, and with the 10 we opened in the beginning, I might as well open these 90 now for an even 100 on the grind so far. So let's see, are we going to get the tome this time? Oh my god, no way, we just started on the second loot. We get the Pyromancer leggings. We now have the full set. We can get rid of these polar camo leggings. And that is the final one for 100 loots achieved. This is everything we've got so far, and unfortunately, no Tome of Fire. So the grind continues. We are now going to try a solo for as many points as possible, and of course the combat achievement for 3000 points. And for this we are definitely going to need some extra potions because we are going to be in this one game for a long time. So why you can get so many points in solos is because you kind of decide when you want the minigame to end. Because you're only lighting one of the braziers instead of all the 4, it takes a lot longer for the Wintertodt game to end. On top of that, you can just let the brazier extinguish, which over time will refill the Wintertodd's energy. And when I feel like I have enough points, I will just run around and light all the braziers, which is going to end the minigame really quickly. All we have to do now is heal the Pyromancer, and there we go, that is over 3000 points, so we have the combat achievement guaranteed. But I'm kind of curious, I kind of just want to keep going and see how many points I can stack up. I feel like I just hit 88 fire making, but we're already at 89, one more for the big 90. We have just passed 10,000 points, and I am going to be here for 1 hour. I have a timer to see how many points I can get in 1 hour. If I of course can beat 33, as I got in 1 hour of masses, then maybe we are going to be doing solos for the rest of the video. It all depends on what is faster. Alright, it's been 1 hour and it's at 10%, so I just have to light some of these braziers and we are going to be done. We ended up at nearly 21,000 points. Now the real question is there a point cap, or is this actually going to be better points an hour? It is 43 points and the combat achievement. So actually 10 additional points doing solo in an hour than doing groups. We got another 20,000 point game almost here for 41 points. I did want to stack up more points, but unfortunately a guy crashed me. But hopefully that is not going to be a common occurrence and I'll be able to stack up a massive point game. And on that note, I might have gone a bit overboard. I've been in this game for 2.5 to nearly 3 hours, and we have almost 54,000 points, and if we can end the minigame here anytime, there we go. 108 points from one game. Time for another looting. We are doing 200 this time. Honestly, a very uneventful opening. We're now at 300 overall, and this is all the loot that we have collected. 92 fire making, the big one, the halfway XP wise to 99. But let's be honest here, getting to 92 from level 1 takes a lot longer than getting 92 to 99. These halfway to 99 conspiracies has to end. I might have gone a bit over 200 points. Yeah, we did. 202. The game just did not want to end. But I'm going to be opening only 200 of these and keep 2 for the next opening. Of course, that is if we don't get a Tome of Fire right now. So we end at an even 500. You know, I'm kind of curious how much one inventory is worth. 80 reward permits, roughly 548k. And the second inventory of also 80 permits, roughly 975k, so this one was vastly more valuable, and we also got a Pyromancer's Garb, which we of course can turn into burnt pages. And that is the final one. We have now looted 500 crates, and the final price check for roughly just 40 permits is 289k, and we still do not have the Tome of Fire. Levels are definitely taking a bit longer now, but they're still pretty fast compared to most skills. 93 fire making. By the way, that 93 fire making I got in the same game that I'm currently in, and we hit 94. I'm at almost 76,000 points. I'm really trying to go for that 100k. And finally, look at that, 100,000 points. That is ridiculous. I've been in this minigame for, I don't even know, like probably 5 hours at this point. I might even get auto-logged out soon, so I think it's time to finish off this game. That should be enough. Let's have a look at the chat and see how many points we're going to be collecting for this. 202 points from one game completion. You know, I would say that's 5 hours well spent. You know, I wasn't sure what fire making level I would be able to reach, but this is probably the last one I'm going to be getting, 95 fire making, because I'm simply just stacking up to 500 points now to end the grind with a massive opening, and I don't think there's enough points left over to get to 96. I do believe this should be, maybe it's the final game, I'm not sure if we're going to be hitting... No, 499, are you kidding me, bro? I'll have to go into a mass and just get 2 points, that's the minimum you can get, and land on 501, and then only loot 500 for the final opening. Alright, there we go, 501 points, and the overall fire making experience we got on this grind was almost 5.4 million. So we did not end up getting 99 fire making, but hopefully on the last 500 points we can get a Tome of Fire. Now for the last 500 reward permits, for this not to take an entire week, we're going to be doing the big search option. This is going to mess up the Runelight tracker when it comes to how many I've looted, but all the actual items is going to be there, so that's going to be accurate, the value of everything. So I guess let's just go ahead and do it. Oh, let's go! We got the Tome of Fire. Actually so close to the end. We have like 230 permits left. Look at that. The Tome of Fire, it's actually fairly valuable, I think. We won the on-drop rate challenge, and we still have 232 permits left to go. So who knows, maybe we can collect a pet on the way there. Nah, no way, another Tome of Fire, okay. We're making money at least. Now that I get to keep everything, I'll definitely take it. Brother, what? You know, why could I not get this lucky in the beginning? Look at that, 3 Tomes of Fire. That would have saved me a lot of time. And this is the last few loots. I'm just doing one at a time to land on exactly 1,000. And there we go. We have 1 permit left over from the 501. And that is the end of the challenge. We won it 3 times over with the Tome of Fires, which are actually worth 1 million each. So 3 million made in just that opening from the Tome of Fires. And this is now what my collection log looks like. Unfortunately, we did not end up getting the pet. However, I have still not got 99 fire making, so I'm not super opposed to returning here in the future for the pets. Aquanites. Last time I killed one of these was a very long time ago, in even another version of the game. But now that they are released with sailing for old school Runescape with a 78 Slayer and 73 sailing requirements, and coming with a juicy new rare drop, the Aquanite Tendon, which is used to create the Aquanite Hopper, a level 60 ranged shield slot item, which comes with a 10% chance of duplicating shots using a crossbow, with a 67% reduced accuracy and damage, but those shots can trigger the special effect from enchanted bolts. I think it's time we pay them a visit. The Aquanite Tendon either has a drop rate of 1 in 750 while on a Slayer task, or a 1 in 3500 off a Slayer task. And for this video, we are just going to raw dog it without a task, so we could potentially be killing up to 3500 Aquanites. So let's get started with the hunt. Before we actually start killing Aquanites, they do have a lot of seeds on their drop table, and from the Tithe Farm minigame you can buy this seed box for 250 points. And it can hold up to 6 different seeds, and I do want to pick them all up, so that's going to save a bunch of inventory. Alright, I think this could be the last, so let's deposit, see if we get 250 points. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're doing some more. Alright, hopefully this is going to be enough, just putting 9 of them in for, 3 points and 2000 farming experience, and that is the grind done. And let's get ourselves the seed box, which is also a collectional slot, and it's going to be good for really any PVM grind in the future. But it's time to finally travel to the Aquanites, and they are located on the Ynyusdale Island, I'm probably butchering that name, right above Prifddinas. And this is the reason why you need 73 sailing to get here, because it's located in this icy water, which requires an adamant helm to go through. But it seems like we are here, it's a very small island, so let's go ahead and disembark. And there's a chest on this island as well. I honestly don't know what that is, but that is not why we're here. We are entering the caves and running all the way south here. And there they are, the Aquanites, level 145. Yeah, there's more of them down here all the way, but this is a single combat area, so we cannot use a cannon here, unfortunately. Besides having a strong magic attack, Aquanites really only have one mechanic, and it's attached to the lure above their head. When starting off the encounter with the Aquanite, they have a 60 stab defense bonus, but as soon as you hit them with a slash weapon, they lose their lure and go all the way down to only 10 stab defense bonus. So every fight you want to start off with a slash weapon like a whip or a dragon scimitar, or a Saradomin Godsword, which is my special attack weapon of choice, to sever the lure and then use your stab weapon, which I'm going to be using the grassy rapier for. But I guess it's time to actually start killing the Aquanites, and I have set up a monster monitor tracker for 3500 kills, but honestly, because these creatures are so new, I don't even know if this tracker works, and we might have to use the rune light tracker, but let's sever the first lure, and there we go. Now it should have almost no defense, and we can delete it very quickly with the grassy rapier. And let's see if the monster monitor plugin works. It does work, 1 out of 3500. And the first drop is a Raynar seed. That is honestly perfect, because we have the seed box. Let's pick that up, and let's see if I can just put it in here. Yep, we can, and if we check it, you can see that we have 1 Raynar seed in here, and it can hold up to 6 different seeds. And the reason why I have the Saradomin Godsword is because when I use the special attack on this, it is on slash, it is going to sever the lure as well, so it both restores my prayer, my hit points, and sever the lure of the Aquanites. And we get Elkhorn Frag. This is a new type of seed for farming. Honestly, these are not very valuable, of course. You can see 248 GP, but if you do want to get these on an Iron Man, for example, these are actually a really good source of them. As well as Umbral Frag and Pillar Frag, because they are all 1 in 22 drop rate, and you can get multiple of them at the same time, except for the Umbral Frag, which only drops 1 at a time. And because it's a seed, I can put it into the seed box. And of course, if you are wondering, you don't have to sever the lure of the Aquanite, it simply makes them faster to kill. And because I'm going to be here for up to 3500 kills, I thought I might as well speed it up as much as I possibly can. But their defense without severing the lure is still fairly low, so as you can see, I'm still hitting pretty decently without having to sever it. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I expected them to rotate more between magic and melee attacks, but it seems like they're only using magic attacks, so really bringing food here seems kind of pointless. Because I can just protect against the magic attacks, I might as well just bring way more restore potions. So the Saradomin Godsword special attack can probably just keep me up all the time. Okay, we have the first water battle staff. These are pretty common, 1 in 22, and they are an alkaballs. And that is why we have brought alks in general, because there's not really anything else that you can alk on the drop table, but because they're pretty common, that's why I brought alks. Oh, and of course, the item we are hunting is on the collection log, so it would be a slot item if we got it, and it's one of the 4 new items on the Slayer log introduced with sailing, besides Gryphon Feathers, Horn of Plenty, Dragon Metal Sheet, and right here is the Aquanite Tendon. I feel like I was getting Raynar seeds left and right, and I was checking up the drop rate, they're only 1 in 16. So honestly, if you're an Iron Man and you want Raynar seeds, this might actually be a really good way of getting them. I don't really play Iron Man, so I don't know if there's way better methods, but 1 in 16 seems pretty decent. I mean, just to put that in perspective, if we go all the way to 3,500 kills, I will have collected 218 Raynar seeds. And of course, these monsters do also drop hard clue scrolls, and luckily, we don't have to leave right away when we get one because of these new scroll boxes. The drop rate is currently unknown as they are new creatures, but I would assume they are not super rare, maybe 1 in 128 drop rate. Maybe during the grind the drop rate will be revealed, but until then it is unknown. Oh my god, I thought, what is that drop? I have it untagged, but that is Dragon Cannonballs, which is, I believe, the most valuable drop you can get from these, except for the tendon. And they are also fairly rare, but we'll see a few of them on this grind most likely. Already another hard clue, so yeah, probably not too rare. So that's the last kill on the first trip, because I definitely have to change my inventory a bit for the future trips and need a lot more restore potions and basically no food at all. But when it comes to banking, it seems kind of inconvenient because I kind of have to drive all the way from this port all the way through this up here again if I just teleport to my house. But I think you might be able to build a rowboat space and get over to Prifddinas, bank there, and then come back here, but I've never used these, so I don't actually know. Alright, we have the material, the hammer and the saw. Let's go ahead and build this rowboating space, and I don't even know how this looks. Okay, we got some construction experience. Let's travel and see where we end up. Okay, so we are north of Prifddinas, so we simply just have to run back here, and yeah, the rowboat is still there, so I can just come back to the island by clicking that most likely. We have the new and improved inventory with basically just restores and nothing else. But let's try out the boat, and it does work. Nice. So banking is not going to be a long process at all. I was kind of dreading that. But just to gauge how long this grind could potentially be, we are going to do the good old 1 hour test. We are starting on 77 KC. Let's see how many we can rack up in 1 hour. That is the timer started. And not only do these drop Dragon Cannonballs, they also drop Rune Cannonballs, which is also a pretty decent drop to get value-wise at least. Oh, something I did not expect 45 minutes in. We actually hit 90 million strength experience, which is kind of crazy, and we're coming up on 100 million hit points as well. I mean, 2 million XP left, but with the amounts of PVMing I do, that might actually go pretty fast. And that is going to do it for the 1 hour. We are completely out of supplies, so the timing of this was actually kind of perfect. We are up to 251 kills now, meaning we did 174 kills in 1 hour, which means if we go all the way to 3,500, this is going to be roughly a 20-hour grind. So I guess it's time for me to get my coffee and strap in for a pretty long one. And there we go, that is the 5th hard clue scroll of the grind on 521 KC, so yeah, the drop rate is most likely something around 1 in 100. But now we have to leave this place and do some clue scrolls. There we go, 5th clue scroll done, and that was so smooth. Doing 5 clue scrolls back to back to back is so nice. Big fan of the clue scroll caskets because it also lets me stay at my grinds for 5 times as long, before having to leave to do hard clues. One of the downsides of this grind, I would say, is that these monsters are not aggressive. But there's actually a potion called the Goading Potion, which is 40,000 GP each, which makes unaggressive creatures aggressive towards you for 6 minutes. I've actually never used these potions before, and I brought 2 of them now, so let's try them out and see if this is a good spot to use them. You know, it's nice to be able to AFK sometimes, but one of the downsides is that the kills regardless is going to be slower because I'm not severing the lure when I'm just AFKing with a rapier. But if I do want some slower kills in the times where I kind of have to AFK, this is a good option. So I'm probably only going to be bringing one potion at a time and using it when I have to AFK. But we're coming up on the first massive milestone, 1000 Aquanites killed. And this is all the loot that we've got so far, 9 hard clue scrolls, only one more for another clue scroll completion time. But we've got 58 Raynar seeds, so I think my theory of this being a good way to get Raynar seeds is pretty correct. And that should be another 5 hard caskets collected. And with this Aquanite, we have hit the halfway point, 1750 Aquanites defeated. We've seen a ton of Raynar seeds and up to 16 hard clue scrolls now. So at the end of this, regardless, we're going to have a big hard clue scroll opening. And another milestone, 2500 kills, no tendon inside yet, so it's starting to look pretty bleak for the grind. And I'm getting roughly 3000 GP per kill on average, and I would say a good amount of that is from the Raynar seeds. But of course, as I said in the last clip, we are going to have a lot of hard clue scrolls to open at the end, so that could make up for it. And there it is, the Aquanite Tendon. Nice to see a collection log slot here. We were almost 3000 kills in. It only says 60k though, it's actually worth a lot more than that. But that is, as I said, another collection log slot as well, so we're up to 70 out of 88 on the Slayer collection log after that. And to make the hopper, you need 1 mithril bar and the Aquanite Tendon. Simply use it on an anvil, and there we go. 350 smithing experience for the Aquanite hopper, which gives 1 range strength and 12 ranged accuracy, and some negative other style attack bonuses. And to be honest, it does match with my dark blue colors of my character, but also it looks kind of freaky, I'm not gonna lie. And for those of you curious how expensive this is, well, I do believe it's going to insta-sell for 10 million. Yes, it did. 10.649 million for that, so actually managed to make some money at least before we start opening the hard clue scroll, so let's do that now. But time for the moment where we can actually make some insane money. We have 25 hard caskets, and we should see at least 1 or 2 masters from this as well. Oh, we have the first master, but the good thing now, by the way, this is a crazy clue scroll as well, this is like 1 mil. But the great thing is that I don't have to do it right away because it's a scroll casket now, so I can just keep going, I don't have to interrupt the opening. And down to the final one for nothing too good, but we got 2 masters, so let's get those done. And this is all the loot we got from hard clue scrolls, not too bad. After I made this video, I thought I had every single requirement done for Master Clues, but as it turns out, I missed one of them, which was just planting a spirit tree and be able to use it, which takes 64 hours. So unfortunately, I have it planted now, so it's going to be good for the future, but I'm not going to be doing this Master Clues step. But we did end up getting one completed, and that one is 112k. Okay, not the best I've seen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive one on our hands this time. You've seen the title and thumbnail. Today we are taking on the newly released Frost Dragons. And the item we're going to be looking for from these creatures is the extremely iconic Draconic Visage, used to make the Dragonfire Shield, and it has a drop rate of 1 in 10,000 from the Frost Dragons. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the grind. And the first course of action I had to take was, of course, get 87 sailing for just unlocking Frost Dragons, and there we go, 87 sailing done. Additionally, one last thing I had to get done before I jump into the grind was actually collect enough Ecto tokens to charge my Bone Crusher necklace with 10,000 charges, enough for all the Frost Dragon bones, and I think that should be enough, yes, over 10,000 charges. Because hell no, I'm not picking up 10,000 Frost Dragon bones, so just taking the 100 prayer experience per bone is definitely worth it. The Frost Dragons is located on the Grimstone Island, which is located pretty much as north as you can go on the entirety of the Runescape map. But luckily we only have to do this once, because after you get here for the first time, you can then use this fairy ring to pretty much instantly get to the Frost Dragons. Before we start killing the Frost Dragons, let's talk gear. This is going to be my gear of choice: Max Magic, a Harmonized Nightmare Staff, and the Tome of Fire. This allows me to very quickly attack with Fire Surge, which is extremely strong here because the Frost Dragons have a 100% fire weakness. If you don't have enough money for the Harmonized Staff, you can also use the Dragon Hunter Wand. It is slightly worse but a lot cheaper. Also, you can go with a melee setup with the Dragon Hunter Lance, but it does require more attention as you can't safe spot with the setup and the kills per hour is slightly lower. Also, this one tile that I have marked is the sole reason to why I don't really need supplies here, because I can fully safe spot these Frost Dragons with magic. And to be able to stay here, I've also brought Telekinetic Grab and High Alchemy, to be able to grab the items from range and then alch them, so I never really have to move from this one square. But we have the absolutely enormous Monster Monitor tracker on now for 10,000 KC. Let's see if it actually works. Yeah, it does. Okay, perfect. 1 out of 10,000, and we get an Alchemy Ball as well, and the 100 prayer experience from my Bone Crusher. So now I can just stay here, use the Telekinetic Grab, get the item, high alch it, and then kill the next one, without having to move one square. Isn't that lovely? You know, I brought some food and some anti-fires in case I needed to run out and pick something up, but I don't really think there's ever going to be a situation where I have to do that, so I can probably just bank these on the future runs. And we get the first hard clue scroll already on 6 KC. I'm probably going to be forced to do a ton of clue scrolls on this grind. The drop rate says rare, and we don't actually know the drop rate yet, but I'm assuming it's roughly 1 in 100. So every time I get 5, which is the max I can hold, I have to leave and do clue scrolls. Of course, I could bring some prayer potions and keep augury on for as long as I possibly can, but because I'm going to be here for so long and the amount of money it would cost in restore potions, it probably isn't worth it. Because the damage I have on Frost Dragons, because of their insane fire weakness, is so good anyways, I don't feel like I need it. But if I later on in the grind feel like I really want to speed up the grind by any possible way that I can, I might start bringing it. Oh, we get some dragon nails. Let's go. These are actually on the collection log. We get 5. You can get from 5 to 15. So that was the lowest amount you can get, but these are a lot more valuable than it might seem like. Oh, by the way, have a look at how much experience in prayer I get for this kill. 250. Now normally you only get 100 from the Frost Dragon bones being crushed, but the Frost Dragons also have superior dragon bones unnoted on their drop table, which can also get crushed at the same time, so that's why I can sometimes get 250 prayer experience per kill. By the way, there's so many new collection log slots because of sailing, and sailing miscellaneous is where we find the dragon and nails we just got, as well as the dragon metal sheet, which we can also get here. But that one is also on the Slayer collection log, so that would be 2 places where we get the item. So that's the next item I'm looking forward to seeing. We are 93 kills in, and I've almost gained 92,000 magic experience. And that means if I go all the way to 10,000 kills, I will have gained nearly 10 million magic experience. So just on this grind in terms of magic experience, I will have gained 70% of the experience needed for a 99, which is kind of insane. Oh my god. So close to the 1 hour mark. 59.50. Let's just pause the timer. The dragon metal sheet. It says 400k in the chat, but 2 million GP almost on the ground. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And we got 138 kills in the first hour, which means if we're going all the way to 10,000, this will take roughly 72 hours. Oh, we got 10 dragon nails in one drop. It's so crazy because it says 20k, but that's actually more like a 1 mil drop. I really hope the price of these items update quickly so I can see the true value of my drops. Okay, we have the first dragon cannonballs. These look so funky on the ground. Normally, this would be a collection log slot item, but when I was leveling to 87 sailing, I already got it from salvaging at a very rare drop rate. But with the plate and the nails, I think that's all the dragon items we can get here. And we get a second plate. That's twice the rate actually on those, because we should only have seen one almost exactly at this point. But I'll take the extra money. Ooh, by the way, I just realized I definitely need to change my high alchemy limit. It's on 200k right now for a warning, putting that just below 30k because the dragon metal sheets alch for 30k. And because I do get a lot of items that I alch, it would be very unfortunate if I alched on accident one of these for just 30k. Oh my goodness, a third plate, and they're going up in value as well, I think, almost 2 mil at this point. I should have had almost just one plate at this KC, but we have 3. But okay, we have the 5th hard clue scroll of the grind so far, and because we've got 5 on already 258 kill counts, makes me think they are very common, so we're probably going to be doing a lot of them, but that means we are finally banking. I was kind of curious though what these are actually selling for, and the plates are selling for pretty much 1.9 million each. And the dragon nails insta sold for 90k and actually sold for even a bit more than that, like 93k each. So just from those 2 items we made nearly 8.7 million GP. You know, historically I've been very bad at using bank tabs, but because we're going to be doing so many detours of hard clue scrolls in this video, I've set up a tab for all the stuff that I need for hard clues and all the stuff that I need for the Rune Dragons. So at least I won't waste a lot of time just banking. Oh yeah, we got the 15 dragon nail drop. It took a while, but of course that is the maximum amount you can get, and at current prices that's like what, 1.4 million drop? Kind of insane. Oh, okay, that was a while since I saw the last one, but we were very lucky in the beginning. But as you can see, once again they are going up in price, which is surprising because I thought this place would be super stacked with people just farming out plates and making them less valuable, but I guess not. Well, my luck definitely turned around. We have so many of these plates now, and we're up to 4 hard clue skulls as well and 124 dragon nails. But after this kill, we are hitting the first massive milestone of the grind, which is 1,000 frost dragons. There we go. And when it comes to loot, this is actually kind of insane. We've made 30.8 million GP worth in loot, and actually, it's more than that. Because the 157 dragon nails is only counted as 300k, when it's more like 15 million. Actually, one cost in supplies I have not gone over yet is my Tome of Fire. I started off charging it with 20,000 charges, which is the maximum, and we're down to nearly 10,000. Which means every kill roughly requires me to use 10 charges. And the price of burnt pages are 6.3k as of this recording, and each page gives you 20 charges. So basically every single kill I use roughly 3000 GP just in pages. Which honestly is not that big of a deal, but it is noticeable because at this point I've spent pretty much 3 million GP in just pages. Okay, we have another 5 hard clue scrolls, and let me tell you, I needed this because I need to bank. I have barely any inventory space left because look at this absolutely giga stacked inventory. You know, honestly, it's kind of sad that I just feel no fear at all going into the wilderness with a bunch of valuables on me, because I know for a fact that the chances of me getting attacked is basically 0. As a PVMer, I kind of hope that the wilderness stays like this, but at the same time, I kind of feel bad for the PKers. I'm sure there's ways to revive the wilderness in a good way. Ooh, no. Dragonstone. That is not on the drop table of Frost Dragons. Let me check the drop rates. 1 in 4,160. You know, it's not even valuable, so it's not even worth picking up. That's kind of sad. Listen, I know that I'm a massive nerd, but I've actually done all of these 1,632 kills in just the first day of the grind. I started early in the morning and I've been going the entire day, and it's getting close to midnight. Usually I don't have the energy to do this much grinding in one day, but this is literally just AFK, click a dragon now and then, and telegrab in between. And it's incredibly good money, so I would highly recommend doing this for money if any of you guys want to make some. I don't know why I did this, but I had to stay awake for 2,000 KC. We did it. 1/5 of the grind in one day. That's probably not going to be a trend. I just went crazy this first day. We're down to less than 1,000 charges in my book as well, so I will have to recharge that. But we did not get a Draconic Visage on day 1, but it's time for me to go to bed, and I just can't stop killing them. I need 2001. There we go. And there it is. The Tome of Fire is out of pages, so it is time to restock, and I luckily have already bought a bunch of pages. By the way, if you don't care about losing a monumental amount of money, you can instead buy searing pages for almost 3 times the price. These provide the same effect as Sunfire runes, which allows you to never hit below 10% of your max hit. So I could not hit less than a 6 using these. But with the price of burnt pages being vastly lower and not too much of a DPS difference, honestly, it's just not really worth it in my opinion. But there we go, that is 20,000 more charges. Oh no! The big dragon metal sheet crash! It's happening! 1.57 million in 1 day from 2 million. Guys, sell all your stocks. The market is crashing. Or maybe save them. Maybe it's going to go up again. I'm not a certified financial advisor. Ah, we have another one of these on our hands. The rare drop table strikes again. Let's see the drop rates. 1 in 8,320. Not quite as rare as the Draconic Visage, but it's getting close. The big 3,000 KC4? 80 coins. Huge. And we're up to 4,000 KC for the massive drop of 78 coins. Actually managed to get a worse drop by 2 coins. Impressive. No shot, this guy is actually the biggest bro in the universe. He was asking me if I missed a dragon metal sheet, and I was kind of AFKing a bit too much, so I missed a dragon metal sheet on the ground. And he's trying to trade me, so I think he wants to give it to me. Oh my god, shout out to this guy. Thank you so much. Siguratus, hopefully I didn't butcher that name because you are a blessing. Absolutely monumental milestone. 5,000 frost dragons have been slain. This is all the loot we have collected so far. Oh, I haven't seen one of these in a while, and they're 2.12 million. I told you guys, maybe I am a financial advisor. You should always hold diamond hands. Don't sell when they're low. Just keep them. They're gonna go up in value 100%. You know, reading up on this grind, I was told that using prayer is definitely not worth it for how much more kills an hour you can get. But I am not the smartest person in the universe, so I'm going to be bringing a full inventory pretty much of prayer potions and just see how many kills an hour I can get. Because the augury prayer is fairly strong. I don't really know how it interacts with the fire surge spell, Tome of Fire and harmonized staff combo, but I guess we'll see. My previous maximum hit without prayer was 63, and now with augury I can hit 64. Of course, we do also get some accuracy, so that is not the only difference, but it's not too substantial when it comes to damage wise. The 1 hour has passed, and honestly, I'm a bit surprised. We hit 151 kills in this hour, which is roughly 10 kills an hour more than I was getting without using prayer. But honestly, I don't feel like it's worth it because obviously prayer potions are pretty expensive, and the increase in kills per hour is not substantial enough for me to really care about it. Oh, whoopsie, I kinda missed it. Too much autopiloting on this grind. 6,000 KC. Hey, Mr. Frost Dragon, got any visages on you that I could please have? No? Alright. Alright, did not miss this one, and you know there's not too much to talk about when each clip is just 1,000 KC in between. The loot is 101 air runes. What a treat. By the way, I've been at this for roughly 6 days now, and we're at 7,149 KC, and in just a few hours, I have to leave for a day for Christmas to celebrate with my family, which means when I come back, I only have 2 days to finish up this grind if I want to get a video out before the end of the year, which I kind of want to do. So it's going to be 2 long last days. Ooh, I did not miss 8,000 KC on accident. I think I got missed runes for 8,000 KC mark, so my milestone kills keep giving me incredible loot. One of the most surprising things that I've seen during this grind is that the price of the dragon metal sheets and the dragon nails have actually felt fairly stable. As I knew this grind would take probably over a week to complete and a lot of people are killing frost dragons, I assumed that these would be plummeting in price, but the fact that there's still 80,000 GP per nail and the dragon metal sheets are 1.8 million is kinda crazy. A little fun quirk about these frost dragons is that when they fire breath you, you actually get frozen in place and you cannot move. And this dragon just happened to freeze me for 42 damage, and I just had to hope that I did not get KO'd. No shot, bro. Oh, 26, I have 1 hit points. Nah, okay, that was the closest I've been to dying on this grind. 1 hit points. Ah, not today, Frost Dragon. Not today. Well, it is definitely not looking good for my chances of getting the Draconic Visage, and I am probably going to be losing a bunch of money from this challenge, but 9,000 Frost Dragons defeated, that is rough. And I actually saw that Boaty killed 10,000 Frost Dragons, and he also did not get the Visage. So please, just in the 1,000 last, let me see it. Oh my goodness, what are we doing here? Oh, come on, bro. We have almost 500 KC left only, and I get a shield left half. I'll just put the drop rate on screen, and we can all feel the despair. Well, it has been some crazy days of grinding Frost Dragons. But there we go. We have hit 10,000 Frost Dragons defeated, and no Draconic Visage. So we have lost the challenge, and I have an absurd amount of money that we're going to be giving away. Also, my Bone Crusher actually ran out of charges, even though I had over 10,000 to begin with, because I was also getting over 200 superior dragon bones. This is all the loot that we collected on this grind, and you can see that I have 65 hard clue scrolls, so we are going to be opening those, and all the loot from those and the masters we get is of course also going to the giveaway. And additional to this, we got 9.7 million magic experience, not quite the 10 million mark, but that number is still pretty crazy though. Before we go ahead and open these 65 hard clue scrolls, let's have a look at the hard clue scroll collection log. I have 116 out of 134 in 781 clue scrolls, and so we should probably see at least 1 item in these, and additionally we should see roughly 4 to 5 master clue scrolls. So with that said, let's go ahead and open. Oh wow, I did not have to wait long. Already a Robin Hood hat. I have quite a lot of these, up to 5 now in total. Oh, we have the first collection log slot, blue D-High chaps trimmed. Well, it took a while. On a 21k clue scroll as well, we got the first master, which is kind of insane. I only have 12 caskets left to go, and only having seen 1 master is really quite something with a drop rate of 1 in 15. And quickly we get another one, so maybe in the last 8 here we can get some masters or collection log slots. This has been a very uneventful opening. Those are good. At least we got 2 pair of D-Hide boots, but down to the last 2, and the last one we get nothing special, but at least we got 2 masters. And for the loot, this is everything we got from the hard clue scrolls. And for the masters, we have 271k and 390k.